for
Evening, everybody. It's Tuesday night. It's kind of 9:05. Welcome to What's on Joe Mind. We're a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe. Thanks for staying with us through the end of the Sanford and Son Super Block replay on the Superstation.
I thought it was the Gilligan's Island marathon. It was that
was
one where they almost got off the island, but Gilligan did something to screw it up.
No. It was Sanford and Son. It was all the episodes where Fred called Lamont a dummy.
Oh, okay.
God, the supercut.
Right. That's why it was a super block. That's why it was a super block.
Man,
I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. How's everybody doing?
Couldn't be better, man.
I mean, we could, but then we'd be twins, right?
Couldn't be better.
I'm
2 weeks beyond maximum weight for a haircut. So this hat ain't never coming off till Saturday. Holy smokes.
So do you have like luscious flowing locks at this point?
So bad. It won't behave at all. It's just like, this isn't my fault. This is all you. And they're right. So
I got shorn this week. So I had
your hair always looks good. You and Rob
kind of does.
Totally blessed.
I mean, Rob probably has a more of a mop than I do, even, and he gets it cut less than I do. So it can be a project sometimes.
Man, even when you've got some math going on, right? It behaves and it looks good. Man, when mine gets just a little bit too long, it starts doing curls all over the place, and it's just a nightmare.
Mine'll do that in the back, and nobody sees that. So
shave it all.
Because I got a giant head. Nobody can see around the sides.
Right. Bruce Bochy's finisher was the headbutt, by the way.
Right. I think he was Samoan.
The JYD style where he would grab the guy and go,
boom.
Drive him into the ground like a railroad spike.
What did he call that?
Head.
Didn't he call it the thump?
Well, he had thump across his butt, and who doesn't? But it was always kind of innocuous whether that was the headbutt or the power slam, his finish, right?
Right.
I'm not sure. The one that even as a kid, I'm like, that is some garbage, is when you get down on all fours and run across the ring and hit a guy. I'm like, nah.
JYD was a wonderful personality for wrestling, but a work rate guy he was not.
It was so bad. Remember when he came to WCW on his last fumes in 91? They had a Clash of the Champions where the main event was JYD Flair. And I'm like, 5 years ago,
if anybody could make him look good, it would be Flair.
Yeah, and Flair couldn't. There's a limit. No. But maybe to be fair,
only so much.
6 years ago, that would have sold 70,000 seats in the Superdome in New Orleans, right? And now it was on Clash of the Champions from Erie, New York, or somewhere. It was awful. Yeah. Hey, by the way, you want to see a magic trick? Watch this. Nope, not yet. Wow!
Oh, see, I was waiting for your hand over there. Yeah, that was the thing. That's what I was waiting for.
I'd like to thank my lovely assistant.
All right, Biz sighting.
Yep.
Biz's palms making their What's on Joe Mind debut.
Look, man, Biz was more than happy to flash, to run past the camera at sudden times.
There you go.
Unlike Derek, who I think when he's been down here, he's never moved off the couch ever during the podcast. So no Derek sightings. And Mrs. Weber has no interest in internet celebrity. So no, there you go.
Frankly, I'm amazed that your marriage has survived What's on Joe Mind.
Me too. No, you didn't even have to say What's on Joe Mind. I thought there was a period there.
Derek Holloman chiming in with the thump was a power slam. So, that settles that.
I'm not disagreeing with him, but says who?
I mean, You know what? If I can use Derek Holloman as my reference, then I'm good with that. It's the junkyard dog. He's been dead for 25 years.
Look, I wouldn't put my setup move across my butt, right? Jake the Snake didn't have short arm clothesline across his butt.
Well, he did. He just didn't wear those tights very often. Never for
Right.
TV.
I remember Hogan with big boot on his butt, but whatever.
Joining me here in the top row, he is the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe brand at Hasbro. It's a group that got a little bit bigger this week. But it's the Hot Show, Mark Weber.
Yeah, and I've pretty much said enough because I got loose because I am as I am wont to do. Let me put one thing out there because we are fulfilling Series 5 pre-orders for Action Force this week and all weekend. Bobby brought in extra people to help. Like people paid for the stuff back in June and they paid up front. We want them to get their stuff quick. Here's how it works. Every Valaverse order, when it leaves on the UPS truck, you get an email. It's called a shipping confirmation email. And you know what that email does?
It confirms shipping.
That is exactly right, Mike. So
shocking.
I love that people are excited for the product and they can't wait. But when you send an email that says, hey, I want to check on the status of my order, I'll tell you the status of your order. Did you get an email yet? Because if you did, you have a tracking number and you don't need to talk to me. And if you didn't, then we ain't boxed it yet. But we're working real hard on it. Maybe even have it wrapped up tomorrow. So do me that favor, right? If you were about to send that email, just stop. Get some help.
Get some help.
Right.
All it means is I have to stop boxing orders to answer your email.
I mean, you don't have to, but it's good business practice.
I mean, we want to get back to it. I'm answering a bunch of emails tomorrow, and a lot of them are going to be, hey, what's the deal with my order? Can you check on my order status? So just let it go, man. We'll get there.
It's a small company.
We'll get there. Yeah.
People seem to have higher expectations of these little companies than they have for when they buy stuff from Hasbro and Mattel, and that always boggles my mind. Like it's just because it's 5 people, you think you can bully your way into status updates and super white glove personalized service, and I just don't understand that. Let them do their work.
We ship same day or next day on almost everything, right? So, and if I see your order and I know you, I think I've written on Bart's a note on Bart's slip I wrote for Phil Donnelly one time. And then there's one guy who wrote with a question from Bend, Oregon about how to attach the belt on a guy, right? And I'm like, hey, you actually got to pop the waist, put the belt on, pop the waist back on. So I'm like, heat up the torso, pop the torso off, put the belt on, put the torso back on. Then go to Richard's Donuts, make sure to bring cash because they don't take cards. And then head up Highway 97 to Dandy's Drive-In and get a cheeseburger. And then drive up Pilot Butte, be careful on the burn part, and check out the view of Mount Bachelor. And the guy wrote back like, holy. So today, that guy's slip came through. And of course, I wrote down in the corner, Lava Bears! With an exclamation point. Only needs one, because it doesn't even need one, because Lava Bears is an exclamation.
Right.
We have other guys in helping out who come in to help when we've got tons of orders. And so I just wrote it and fulfilled the order, put it on the table. Somebody else is going to box it. I'm going to ship it. No big deal. And like half an hour later, one of the guys goes, who wrote Lava Bears on a shipping slip? This guy.
Yeah. Who else would it be?
So anyway, literally 7 minutes after I said, well, I already talked, so I'll be quick. I rest my case.
Andrew Galgan says that Mark, to all the people who email him about their orders, Simmer down now.
Simadana. It's one word though. Simadana.
Yeah. We'll get the look. We don't grade our live comment chats or live chat comments on punctuation.
I do, with a big red Sharpie, and it's all over the right side of my screen.
That's why that's why you don't get to have the screen with the buttons.
Yeah, that's fair.
In the bottom row,
I did once, and it did not go well. It didn't.
Went quick.
So many buttons.
Went very fast though.
It was a quick show.
It was a quick show. I was there.
Yep.
Somehow I was there. Anyways, in the bottom row, he is America's favorite millionaire playboy. Ragtime Rob.
Like that.
Have I been holding out money for myself and not even known it?
I don't know. He's actually our comic book expert, but I never seem to remember to bill him as that.
I mean, teachers are overpaid, man. They don't even work the summer.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Ragtime Rob. How's your world?
Well, Mark sworn me to secrecy on one aspect, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I'm personally having the I can't believe it's only Tuesday week, but
yeah,
I was yeah. Anyways,
somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Yeah, I did yesterday. Woo.
Somebody's still got a case of the Mondays.
Mm.
Let's roll into community calendar. Let's get this thing moving. We got stuff to talk about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Community calendar brought to you by the fine folks at Roma Collectibles. Be sure to visit Roma Collectibles, the toy store, next time you're in Springfield, Ohio. They're out at 1030 Upper Valley Pike. They're open Wednesday through Sunday, noon to 5. They're closed Monday and Tuesday. Those are the What's on Joe Mind watching days. They're always buying. They're especially buying G.I. Joe right now. So if you're looking to sell off your spare Joes and you happen to be around Ohio, visit Mary Mercenary at Roma Collectibles. Sell them your extra Joes so somebody else can be happy with your over purchases. And just don't make eye contact as they are surly. And despite the fact that Aaron is battling cancer and kicking its ass, that just means he's up for fighting anything.
Dude, he's beaten cancer. He'll walk your dog. Come on now. A new line I heard from Charlie Murphy, God rest his soul, this week was, yo, I took him to the brick oven and made pizza of his face. That's all.
He will devour your heart to gain its power.
I don't think I've ever heard he'll walk your dog before. I like that. First up this Saturday, it's the North Dallas Toy Show. It's at the Celebration Event Center in Plano, Texas. $3 gets you in the door. Parking's free. They're there from 9 to 2. Get yourself out. Visit all the finest toy retailers, secondary toy retailers that North Dallas has to offer. You can get more information off of their Facebook page. They do event pages for all their shows. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. Little show. Support local businesses.
Get there.
We're taking attendance. Don't think we don't know if you skip.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're expecting Matt Rubin to be there, even though he's in Pittsburgh. That's
what your Apple Watch is for. Not just to keep people from dating you.
Well, yeah. That is kind of that's a sign right there. If the girl's got the Apple Watch, you just kind of
girl. I mean,
look, that
I'm just goes saying, both ways, man.
As a single guy.
Okay, got it.
You know, that's what I'm looking for to date. So yeah, the ones with the Apple Watches they're a little too in control.
I'm just saying that there are plenty of girls out there who have never uttered the phrase, I'm going to go talk to that guy with the Apple Watch.
Also true.
Yeah.
Also true.
Bart's got a terrible idea.
Bart wants what's on Joe Mind Funkos. I mean, how is with
How big can they make our heads?
Right?
Right.
It would just look like normal action figures.
My
Walking
Funko Pop
candy apples as it is.
My Funko Pop would tip over all day long.
They just have to load up the base on one side just so you can see it go.
They'd have to include a wall for me to lean on or something. Like, come on. They do have a like make your own, Funkoize yourself or something, right?
Right.
But it's a little bit weak. I would say it's slightly better than the selfie series, which was a nightmare, but cool.
I mean, I dare say that considering the standards, the bar that's set for making a Funko that looks vaguely like you, Funko Pops only vaguely look like anything anyway.
That's true.
So you're gonna nail that one, man.
Bart thinks mine would be translucent. That'd be awesome if they made that a translucent plastic with just only paint app or like eyeballs and hair.
It would just be Seamus with the
Right?
shirt paint on. That's all.
Damn, I'm getting a haircut Saturday. I can do the Seamus maybe.
Right.
Try my hand. Yeah. Maybe remember when he grew the beard out with like the long tassels coming off of it? Terrible look.
Yeah.
That's not good for anybody.
He was experimenting then. It was the heel run.
It was not good.
Trying to get a Snidely whiplash.
He had a nice match on Monday.
I didn't see. I had a lot going on Monday.
I get you. I watched it this morning.
Hmm.
Him and Kaiser beating the mess out of one another for 10 minutes. That was a good match.
They've had a couple of good ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, good match. Sheamus in his early 40s, putting in the work of his life. Who knew?
Who knew Kaiser was going to be a credible mid-card act, right? Like, okay.
Yeah. I'm all for it.
Jeff Butler knows what's up.
Now we need to see a lazy bastard custom Mark Funko Pop.
Because they make big Funkos, right? They're more expensive, obviously. But if you can find a redhead or painted, I guess that's not lazy though. If you could find a big head Funko, I mean, not the regular Funkos with the big heads, but like the big head Funko with a redhead, and put that on a regular size one body, now we're talking.
Mark, I need a judgment call on lazy bastard customization here.
Okay.
If it involves a Sharpie, and I'm just talking like not your fun colored Sharpies, just like a black Sharpie, like everybody's got.
Yeah.
If you're doing touch up work with a black Sharpie, is it still a lazy bastard custom?
I think that's a gray area. So I would say it depends on the amount of Sharpie use, right? Like if you're turning the shoulder pads black, I think that's still pretty lazy. But if you're making a guy Night Force by Sharpie alone, that's way too much work. Yeah, that's
I don't know. That seems pretty lazy.
It's over the line. It's a very low bar.
Just dropping it in the can of paint.
Or it crosses the line from lazy to just sad.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. Yeah. But yeah, lazy bastards is exact. I mean, they're meant to fall apart and be reassembled. So why not do that?
Oop. I'm double clicking again. Up next, if you're in North Carolina, the Inside Pitch Promotions folks have a show for you. Coming up this weekend, November 2 and 3, they're at the Kerr Scott Building in Rolla. 9 to 4 Saturday, 10 to 4 Sunday. $5 gets you in for one day. $8 for the whole weekend. It's a bargain at twice the price. Parking is free. Kids 12 and under are free. So much stuff is free, just not admission. But anyways, get all the details at InsidePitchPromo.com. They're also rolling it back out November 16th out at the West End Plaza Event Center in Salisbury. Just a one-day event for that one, 9 to 4, $5 for the day. Hopefully we get a Fleming sighting at this one. I need hauls from the Gunny and from Gene.
Mm-hmm.
I need these things in my life.
If you see the comment there.
Right there, that's the Gunny. We're going. Gunny's in. Excellent.
That means the rest of you duck and cover.
Right. He's armed and a deadly shot with Nerf darts.
Yeah.
Call him a soldier and see what happens.
And
I hope it's on video.
Based on some of his other comments tonight, he may be giving out core regulation haircuts. So
maybe I could save some money.
Providing a service. I mean, Mark, you might as well, man. There's not a whole lot going on up there anymore.
No, at some point I'm gonna go radical, right? Like,
just
get the Amazing Larry.
Just take it down.
I think I'm gonna get the wild thing in the back because the back is still rocking. So
no
wild thing.
No.
Yeah, a buddy of mine did that in high school with the lightning bolts down the back. Like,
well, I mean, you might as well just get a tattoo at that point.
It's not, right on my neck.
Right on the right. Yeah. Just right here. It'll help with the job search too, from what I understand.
Then I need a hat with my own logo and a jumpsuit with my own logo so I can wear all three at the same time and pretend I'm a hero while they play the theme song I had written for me about me and my family.
Well, we've said this off air, Mark. The heel turn will be fantastic.
If you don't know, we're talking about Cody Rhodes. The other night, they opened SmackDown with Gunther walking into the arena, wearing just a suit with a shirt under it, like no collar, no tie, and he was just grinning. And the crowd booed the hell out of him.
Right.
And then it went to Cody walking in with his hat with his logo tattooed on his neck, wearing a jumpsuit with his logo on it, and sunglasses indoors. And it was basically the same thing. Him walking and smiling, crowd went nuts. I showed it to my daughter with the sound down. And she knows wrestling. But I'm like, pretend you don't. Who's the bad guy here?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was so clear. Oh.
Right. I just hope when the day comes that they turn Cody Rhodes, I just hope Kevin Owens is in the building to go absolutely crazy, pointing and screaming, "I told you so."
Yeah, right.
Everybody will listen. Because instantly that's a face turn for KO.
Yeah. If he's still there.
Right. He'll be there.
You think?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They're paying him too much. He gets a big contract from those guys to go out and get beat every Friday.
Right, but I think
money.
I think he'll get offered more money from AEW. Now there's drawbacks to both, right?
Yeah. See, I think he's got, if he leaves for AEW, I think he's got more expectations.
Could be.
Like,
yeah.
I think he wants to be all the time in the title mix if he's at AEW, because frankly he belongs there instead of those guys.
Yeah.
But
I'm just thinking, what is he, 39, 40?
Yeah, around there.
Like, it might be his last big contract. So it depends on what he wants.
Right.
If it's 5 million in one place and 4 million in the other, But if it's 4 million in one and 8 in the other, I don't know. We'll see.
Anyways. So that's Inside Pitch Promotions happening this weekend. Bring $10, you'll get change.
Mm-hmm.
Florida toy shows and expos have their Florida extravaganza happening this weekend. That's in Tampa at the Florida State Fairgrounds. They also have Space Coast Collector Fest on November 24th. That is a Sunday. That is in Cocoa. And the Star Wars Holiday Special coming up December 8th. We're getting way ahead of ourselves on that one. That's in Orlando. But hey, it's the end of their schedule. I'm not going to do more than one graphic. Don't be dumb.
Mm-hmm.
$10 gets you in. Kids 12 and under, again, they're plentiful. They're crawling all over the place. Just take one home. They're free. They're there from 9 to 4. Parking does differ depending on the show, so be sure to check out their Facebook event page for all those kind of details, or check out floridatoyshows.com.
Make sure to bring your baseball skids. Get autographs from Mark Gardner, Jose Vidro, and Mark Grudzelanek.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's not the right expo.
And Jeff Facero. I love Jeff Facero. Should have been a Yankee.
It's a good reliever for a long time. For a number of teams.
Underrated. Wow, Owens is 36. He looks 45.
I saw somewhere he was 40, so I don't think 36 is correct.
Matt Rubin's a dirty liar.
He is.
He also said AEW isn't booking their crew like they used to. I don't know. Same booker.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least they put the belt back on Moxley, which is the most credible thing they've got.
He's the best wrestler I've ever seen.
Look, I'm not a fan of his in-ring work, but as far as being a character goes,
yeah, he's a name. He's
the guy.
Yeah, that's
he's
fine.
The best one.
And Daniel put him over huge on his way out. So nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Too bad his matches are ass.
They're the same thing over and over again. Yeah.
I think he's selling less than ever.
He's gonna bleed. Rest assured, he's gonna bleed.
Dude, there's no better wrestling karma than when Ray Phoenix dropped him on his head like a year ago and messed him up.
Right.
And he did it wasn't supposed to be the finish, but he was messed up. So Ray Phoenix did what you would naturally do in that situation when you've accidentally concussed your opponent. He gave it to him again and then pinned him. I have never popped so hard for AEW in my life than when they put the belt on half of a tag team that was supposed to be cannon fodder for Jon Moxley. Very good. 5 stars, 7 stars for that match.
Oh. Yeah, that was maybe one of the biggest wrestling brain farts I've ever seen. Just
what do? I don't know. He's not talking. I got an idea.
Like I think like Moxley probably forgot the 3rd grade because of that move. It's just it was terrible. Anyways, moving on. We're talking a lot of wrestling tonight.
Yeah.
Same weekend. Just on Sunday, we got Toy Man out at the Machinist Hall in Bridgeton, Missouri, out by the airport in beautiful St. Louis, Missouri. They're there from 9 to 2. $5 gets you in. 15 gets you in for early bird. That's at 8 o'clock, and that's when all the real deals happen.
Yeah.
Kids 12 and under again are free. Parking is free, and Lord knows you can't fill the spots. They got two floors of a building full of toy retailers. It's still going to be plenty of parking. Be sure to give Dave Draper a consensual hug. Send us a picture and win a prize from the What's on Joe Mind prize vault. Promise you, it'll happen. Somebody's just got to take care of it.
No cuppage.
Yeah, I mean, unless if that's what Dave wants. But I mean, again, I know Dave Draper well.
Yeah,
he's
that's
probably
not what
not
he wants. That's not what he wants.
Got to pay for cuppage.
Yeah. Look, if you pay Dave Draper enough, then I'm sure he'd be in.
So what you're saying is everybody's got a price.
It's got to be consensual, is what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
If I get that picture, the first thing I'm doing is texting Dave Draper, hey, is this consensual?
Right.
And if the answer is no prize vault.
Yeah. And you can't just run by and throw your arm on him, right? That's a drive-by. That doesn't count.
Yeah, no, that's garbage. Cheapest Big Spender asks, is it easier to hug Dave during the early bird? I don't know. I don't know. I've never tried to hug Dave that early.
I think if you try to hug him at 8 a.m., you're going to get an early bird. That's what I think.
When I went to Toy Man, I was living in St. Louis. So I would roll in like 10 o'clock. Dave Draper's coming from Springfield. He's driving 2 hours to get to Toy Man. So he's I don't know what kind of a mood he's in. So right when he gets out of the car, but he's usually there before I am. Anyhow, that's Toy Man. It's like a museum. It's like a garage sale. It's like the world's biggest toy store. That's not restricted anymore. That phrase is up for grabs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Check it out. It's happening Sunday. Hey, if you're going anywhere the following week, there's still time. Book yourself a hotel room. Get yourself to Des Moines, Iowa for assembly required. All that ticket and hotel information is available for you at codenameiowa.com. You can see there Larry Hama as the guest of honor. Other guests include Josh Blaylock, Ron Wagner, the Word Burglar, and me. I'll be there. With a booth, no less. Vendors and friends that will also be in attendance after Action Report. Roger and Josh will be in the house. AVAX Lab, you remember them. They're a great place to get a little head. Grindstone Toys, Joe Declassified, Mark II Design, Raging Spoon, Roma Collectibles, Skeletron, and more, all out there on the sales floor for your perusal and purchasing glory. Again, tickets and hotel info are available for you at codenameiowa.com.
Outstanding. That was a good show before Mike got there, and now through the roof.
I'm going to ruin it.
Yeah. Oh, you're working opposition. Can't wait for you to flip. Are you going to flip the table, or are you going to put somebody through the table?
I mean, I think they got me next to Word Burglar, so
he never shoots blanks.
No, we will be tag teaming our way. We'll be the classic big and small tag team.
You guys will 3D somebody through the table. It'll be amazing. And the best part of that, the smaller guy does the lift. You get to do the kill.
I don't know if we're gonna pull that one off. I think I'm gonna have to do the lift on that one.
I think if anybody walks by wearing a Bills jersey, you can guarantee he won't press charges. That's their thing. Like,
yeah. But cheapest spender says Larry and Mike. Guess 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Don't talk crap about Larry.
That's
we won't
rough,
have
man.
that here.
That won an award.
Oh yeah, you got a what was it?
Badass of the century.
I mean, yeah, that's what he's earned, but I forget which award it was. I don't really. Yeah,
it wasn't the Eisner, but it was something else. It's a big one.
Yeah, I can even see it. Yeah, thank you, the Harvey. I couldn't put the name on it, but Toy Bounty Hunters got it right. Mike, get the tables. We'll have the tables.
It's gonna be so good. What's up?
So again, if you got some time, I'd book it quick because you're about out of time to get yourself out to assembly required. There's only so many flights into Des Moines, but get yourself there. It's a good time. One of the best Joe shows on the calendar every year. I'm happy to finally make it.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be a good show.
Also coming up, Toy Palooza. That's a week from Sunday. That is in the AHN Sports Complex in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They will be there from 11 to 4. $5 gets you in the door. $10 gets you in for early bird at 10 a.m. $10 will also get you in if you purchase online at 9:30. So be sure to head over to toypaloozatoyshow.com, order your tickets in advance, and get that extra half hour of toy purchasing glory. Kids 12 and under are free because those folks in Pittsburgh, they can't control themselves.
No.
There's kids all over the place. Kids all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got at Hub Comics, that's the following week. That is on Saturday, November 16, from noon to 4. Tom Riley, the artist of the new G.I. Joe series from Skybound, will be on hand to flap gums and sign books and just be a general good mensch and citizen of the world. Again, Hub Comics is owned by a friend of the program, Tim Finn, one of the hosts of Talking Joe. So be sure to, if you get out that way, spend a few bucks, support Tim. The address is there, so you can pause the program once we're done and jot that down. We've got the phone number. We've got their email, or rather their website, hubcomics.com. You can get all the details from that. But Mark Weber, have you firmed up plans to get out for this?
I mean, I'm a very busy man right now, so we'll see. Maybe if I get all of Series 5 out the door. Got to have priorities, and the fans come first.
I guess. I mean,
man of the people.
I would say the ones that, keep a list of the ones that ask you for shipping information.
Right.
And they go last.
Yeah. Man, the people are the ones who made me retire. I can't say the next line, but it kind of makes the whole monologue.
Yeah. 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 Anyways,
The Baroness be looking good in that snake armor.
Snake armor.
Yeah, look how big the body is compared to the head. Come on.
Well, I mean, it's armor.
Right, but do the underdrawing here. How long is her neck? If the shoulders are well beneath the top of that armor, right? How long is her neck?
It's been broken in 4 places, and she'll like you to not stare.
I mean, we thought the Snake Eyes Baroness figure had neck problems. Holy smokes!
Maybe that's
Edge,
maybe that's the model.
Edge would look at that picture and go, "That neck's messed up."
Former NFL quarterback Mike Glennon would be like, "Hey,
right.
That's my kind of lady."
I mean, we're being kind of soft with the whole quarterback designation, but I'll allow it.
Well, I mean, in that they did pay him good money to go out and throw footballs professionally.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was so much a quarterback. Lord
yeah,
knows I suffered with them on my roster for a couple of seasons, so quarterback is a very liberal application of the term.
But by definition, okay, we will allow it.
Yeah, I mean, just that's what his football card said, so sure. Anyway.
The last decade has been nothing but suffering for our football team.
Man.
Saturday, November 16th, from noon to 4. Be there. Meet the honcho.
Just to put it out there, because I'm very happy in my current position, but I would take only $20 million to suck at quarterback for your New York Giants. Think of the savings.
Same. I would take 10.
And dude, and my post-game press conferences would be amazing.
Yeah, and you know what? They could have kept Saquon Barkley for 13.
Right.
Look, I would be broken after the first game, so that's easy money. Bones heal.
Dude, me in a body cast going, "What do you want? I'm a soccer player. This is hard. I told you guys I can't throw.
I don't use these things for anything."
I would just like to say, in my defense, there were a lot of handballs out there today.
At least we'll always have the glory of taunting Justin Bell about Super Bowl 41.
That's right.
Here on What's
42.
on Joe Mind.
That's
42,
right.
42. 42 and 47?
46.
46. I can't be asked to keep track of Roman numerals anymore. They're too high. They're too high. What is it this year? 56?
59, isn't it?
That'd be more. 50 was the one in Detroit with Jerome Bettis and the Steelers beating the Seahawks.
Was it really?
I think it was. Or was that 40? It was XL. I thought that was 50.
That's 40.
Was that 40? That was 40.
L is 50. When you put the X before it, it takes 10 away. That's how the Romans did math. The Romans were not mathematicians.
No.
They were good at geometry. They were terrible at algebra.
Obviously, neither am I. That's okay.
Uh-oh.
LIX is 59. It's Super Bowl licks?
Yeah.
Is it in Vegas?
I think that
should. Because it should be.
I think that means Poison's doing the halftime show.
Oh, so good with some hot licks.
Oh, yeah!
Anyway. God.
LIX is 59.
Oh, my God. Jake Rose.
Steelers didn't beat the Seahawks. The refs did. Well,
Check out Jeremy Stevens' fumble in that game that they didn't call.
Yeah,
right? They were bad refs, but it wasn't necessarily slanted.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
And Matt Hasselbeck went on to so many other Super Bowls. Like, couldn't be stopped.
Man, he got to 1. Come on now. Give him his props.
Dude, that was the long story short. I had a chance to go to that game for face value tickets, and I would have had to abandon the McFarland booth on cleanup day, and that was part of the decision not to go. But and it was $600 face value.
Right.
But the main reason I didn't go was I thought that Seahawks team was the worst Super Bowl team since was it Grogan's Patriots that lost to the Bears?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, since that team. And I went, if I pay $600 and the Steelers win, I'm going to be happy, right, to see it. But I'll be 80% as happy from home. But if I pay $600 and they lose to this piece of garbage team from the NFC, I will never forgive myself. And I will only be 30% as upset watching it from that. We were renting a house there, renting a house from the house, as if I paid $600 and abandoned my coworkers to go watch Sean Alexander run the Super Bowl glory. Get out of here with that. John Clayton, I saw him at the airport the next morning. He was spouting that same line. Where's John Clayton from?
No idea.
Seattle. I'm like,
The
be
professor.
a pro. Be a pro, John Clayton. Jeez.
Look, man, he's not on camera. Let him be a fan when he's at the airport.
Whatever. The refs.
It was a poorly officiated game, Mark.
It was.
I'm
But
not
there
going to
were-
sit here and say that that's what cost the Seahawks.
No, but there
But,
were bad calls that went against the Steelers too, and nobody mentions those because it doesn't fit the narrative. Like Shohei Ohtani's not injured shoulder. We'll talk about that another time.
That's in post show.
Yeah.
We'll get it in post. Anyways, moving on. Who? Knights Hall back in Livonia, Michigan. That's happening November 17th. That's 3 weeks. $3 gets you in, 10 to 4. Kids 12 and under are free because Lord knows there's no control over that sort of thing in Detroit.
No,
Just take one.
no
There's so
rules.
many kids 12 and under. Just take one. Get more information at Knights Hall Comic and Toy Show. Spell it all out, kids.com. Last one of the year for them. We won't have to talk about them again. They got an indie show towards the end of the year, but
They got to shut down the St. Mickey's and clean it up.
right. They got to hose out St. Mickey's.
They have an indie show with Matt Cardona.
Maybe he's there. I don't know.
Nice.
We'll have to get the tables.
I like it.
You have to get the tables and call Pixel Dan.
Oh, Pixel Dan's got some beef there.
Yep.
Can't we somehow work out a Ray Cicanis versus Pixel Dan match? Come on now.
I think the only thing standing in the way of that is Ray Stacanis.
Okay.
I think he is not down with that sort of thing.
Let me talk to him. See if we can work.
All right. Just saying, he's out in California. It costs some money to live out there. You might have to pony up.
Mm. We'll put look. We'll say that Pixel Dan has to go over, but we'll put Ray under a mask, right? And we'll call him with one strap. We'll call him the Stacanis Machine. It'll be so good.
Cicadas machine.
The Ray machine works.
Yeah, but it's not as funny. No, we'll book him as Ray Mysterio. We'll give him a lucha mask, but it's R-A-Y.
R-A-Y. Yeah.
It'll help with tickets. Trust me. And he will get booed like you wouldn't believe.
Well, he's at least a foot too tall.
Right? How quickly will they realize they've been had? When Ray Stacanis Mysterio comes out the curtain. Holy smokes.
November 22nd through the 24th, Toy Federation brings you the Retro Toy Con. That is out at Embassy Suites Golf Resort and Convention Center in Greenville, South Carolina. This is another one sent to us by Gene Fleming, so maybe him and the Gunny will be at this one too. Guests include Arn Anderson, Jake the Snake Roberts, a bunch of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie people. You can get all the tickets and information at retro-toycon.com.
And we get that not everybody is a wrestling fan. So if you don't know the difference between Arn Anderson and Jake the Snake Roberts, Jake is the one with short arm clothesline written across his butt.
Only
And
sometimes.
probably a snake.
Right?
Only sometimes.
Arn is the one with a whole damn paragraph written on his butt.
Right. He's got Glock written on his butt.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, and I'm just going to throw this out there, right? If we happen to be doing the show that we love during a major sporting event, we might be taping it to watch afterwards, right? So we don't need play-by-play in the comments. Honestly, help us out, yeah?
Mark's taping it. It's on the television just to my right. So be cool.
Yeah.
We don't need scores. Thank you.
I appreciate it. I do, but
we appreciate the love,
Yeah.
but knock it off.
yeah.
It's hockey season.
And then finally, New Jersey CollectorCon. That is November 23rd. Just a one-day show. This is G.I. Joe versus Transformers is the theme. They do big door prizes all day long. We showed you the Cobra aircraft carrier they gave away last time.
Dude.
That's pretty sweet stuff. That's from our friend Kevin Watts. And you know that guy does awesome custom work. Anyways, the normal haunting grounds, the Cherry Hill Holiday Inn, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You know, out on Marlton Pike.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Come see Snake Eye. Come see Snake Eyes punch Bumblebee in the face. Apparently,
just smack him in his fool mouth.
He's just letting him have it. Come see Right-Handed Scarlet.
As I knock out my microphone.
Right, it deserved it.
Craig Cohan advocates What's on Joe Mind live viewing of the Royal Rumble. We'd have to, you know what I'd want to do is find an old Royal Rumble and do a live viewing of that.
That'd be fun. Because
the 1989 Royal Rumble or something.
I appreciate that.
Isn't that the one that's in Indianapolis coming up?
I know they're coming to India a bunch in the next couple of years.
Yeah, we got a Rumble, we got a WrestleMania somewhere in the next 3 years. This town will do right by them.
Yeah,
it's a good event town. We have facilities, we have hotels.
But the Rumble's my favorite wrestling event of the entire year.
Same.
Right? So and my kids love it. We actually do it. They draft. Or they pull numbers out of a hat, and then you get the wrestler who comes out of that number. Mm-hmm. We do it up big, so it wouldn't translate live. But I'll watch an old Rumble. You bet. Watch that Flair Rumble with like 22 of the 30 guys are future Hall of Famers. It's ridiculous.
That 92 Rumble is a fantastic match.
So good.
It truly is.
Yeah.
Until the end when Hogan does Hogan things,
right?
But at least he doesn't win it. So
yeah. Hey,
spoilers.
Yeah, sorry to bring that to y'all. Before we bug out, I didn't submit a slide for this because I worked all weekend. But Rhode Island Comic Con is this weekend, and Valaverse will have a gigantic table there. And the reason we've been working so hard on getting Series 5 out the door for our folks who pre-ordered it is Bobby's bringing Series 5 to sell live at the show.
Oh, nice.
Because it would really be dirty pool to sell it to walk-up folks when people paid their money back in June and we hadn't sent their order out yet. So we've been we've been working really hard because we want all the pre-orders out the door. And then your first chance to buy it live will be at the show this weekend.
Excellent. Good on you for playing fair.
Yeah,
or at least attempt.
You gotta take care of the folks. Take care of us.
But that's it for Community Calendar. If you've got something for the community calendar, and really like about 10 of you do on a rotating basis. So if you want to see a show in your area, get some free publicity, send it to that email you saw on the screen there. What's on joemind@gmail.com. Really, if you have anything for the show, whether it's questions about the line, question about history, question about really just about anything. What's on joemind@gmail.com. That's the place where we're absolutely going to see it. I know we've got all kinds of social media and instant messages, and they're a mess, right? The business account side of instant messaging is a disaster. So if there's just something you absolutely want to contribute, what's on Joe Mind at gmail.com. That address again, what's on Joe Mind at gmail.com.
Like every big time podcast, right? What's that promo code again? Mike.
It's promo code Mike.
Right. It's Helix Sleep Mattress / WOJM. There you go.
Right.
See what that gets you. Probably charge you more.
Oh, Andrew Gaugan wants to know, is there a discount if I say to Bobby Weber sent me?
Okay. The way it kind of shakes out, because Bobby has a set crew that works shows, is I'm not a show guy at Valaverse. Not that I couldn't be, but I'm the guy who holds down the fort when the crew goes to shows. So I won't be there to help you, but you can float that line and see what it gets you. Again, I might charge you more.
Basically, the way it works is if say a meteor hits the showgrounds and everybody from Valaverse is wiped out, Mark can't be there because he's got to assume control of the company.
He is the designated survivor.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know that I would take over, as CEO or lead dog, or I wouldn't even go so far as to say honcho, but I would engrave the letters BAUS on my door, just so everybody knew who the boss is, right? Boss.
Bouse.
That's what I want my next title to be. Forget director. It's gonna be boss. Now I'm not, in no way am I saying I drive that ship, right? So maybe I'm the underboss, but there's some bousing going on around there.
Yeah, designated survivor, man.
Yeah.
If everybody else dies in a meteor fire, then
that's me.
You're there. You're on the side.
Why is Weber in charge? He's the only one left.
Everybody else is dead. God rest their soul.
There we go.
Now we've gone and jinxed it. I'm afraid to come out of this next weekend, Weber. I'm afraid to hear.
Bart's got a good question here, asking for a mango habanero update. Given the cosplay genes of her mother and father, we should definitely get at least a Halloween picture to share.
One would think.
Because they got to do it upright. Maybe she's part of an interactive Quato costume or something.
I don't think that kid sits still long enough to play Quato.
Well, I think it would strap her on, right?
Sure, but that's just more problems for Joe Colton. So I'm pretty sure that whatever costume that kid is in, it's going to be free range.
That's probably true. One of the best ones I ever saw was a dad that did up a legit looking power loader that he wore, and he had his baby daughter as Ripley in the front pack onesie, and it was, through the roof. Now I'm the guy who wore the Ripley Hicks 2024 shirt to vote yesterday, voted early, right? I'm pretty proud of my Ripley Hicks 2024 because the campaign slogan is, "It's the only way to be sure." Not bad.
It's time for the news. First news item. It's
hey, wait.
No, he's feeling the caffeine and sugar.
That just came to me, because if I'd have thought of that beforehand, I would have probably scratched it.
How much are they shelling out on advertising?
So good, right?
Anyways, missing the point. First news item is the crummy news item. It's more Hasbro layoffs. Yay. About 100 folks lost their jobs about a week ago. This happened right after last week's show. I think it was that Wednesday morning. Included in those let go was longtime Joe and Transformers hand John Warden, lowering the number of people Mark actually worked with that are still at Hasbro to -4 at this point. I think you're down to Lenny. I think that's it.
Not many. I mean, there's people I knew and barely worked with, like up in legal and stuff like that. There's still a handful, but for the people I actually worked with on stuff, there is not much. There's Lenny, there's Mark Maha, there's Sean, Carmine Isabella. I mean, that's almost it. Like,
Right.
that's scary, man. There's a couple of packaging guys still there, but
Right.
I mean, I remember when I left suddenly, I made a list of people I wanted to reach out to stay in contact with, and it was more than 100 people there that I considered not just coworkers but friends. And I think I'm down to single digits now. And yeah, I've been gone a long time. I've been gone 7 years, and not everybody that I was friends with got shown the door, right?
Right.
More and more people are leaving on their own, because if you have another option, but there's no positive spin on this, right? The only part of it that makes it, I guess, maybe less brutal is that you pretty much have come to expect some kind of layoff before their quarterly earnings come out, right?
Yeah,
And this was
fourth quarter especially.
It was a day before Q3 earnings came out. So
yeah, literally the day before the meeting. So
if you're letting,
they all got to announce fine profit margin and all got to enjoy their bonuses, and yay, go team. Now, meanwhile, the 15 people left at the company that still produce toys just makes it that much harder on them.
and all the guys on the earnings call, the official like business reporters, Barry Davidson from Goldman Sachs, they asked the most softball garbage questions. There were like 12 questions asked, and not one of them had the stones to even respectfully say, we know it was a tough day yesterday. Nobody ever wants to do layoffs, but how is your company planning to handle the workforce reduction due to, there's still the same amount of work that needs to be done moving into the fourth quarter, your most important time of the year. Right. That's not hatchet journalism. What's garbage journalism is nobody asking that question.
Right.
Not one. They just all went, could you clarify what you meant by games are the most important thing? And then they had, oh, now it makes sense. Thank you.
Right. The bottom line was the only thing discussed by independent journalists at this meeting to celebrate the earnings of a multi-billion-dollar company that just let off another 5 to 6% of their workforce. It's terrible. It's awful that our business community only considers dollars and cents anymore. At some point, we're all going to need to work, and that's just becoming an increasingly difficult thing to do. So, yeah. Anyways, there's a soapbox here that I'm going to deliberately step around.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard for me to be fair and balanced,
right,
about any Hasbro thing, because I still have some ill feelings about my exit from Hasbro, but as a Joe collector, right, as a Transformer collector on some level, fan for sure, this one to me, especially because John was a real talent, it made me wonder if they really even want to be a toy company anymore. And I know I'm not revolutionary in that stance, but this was the one that made me get there, that made me go, wow, do they just not want? Do they not want to make toys anymore?
Yeah, and that's really a valid question. We've just seen the end in recent times of Goldner's time, Brian Goldner's time, and we certainly know they weren't a toy company then. They were trying to be this multimedia Disney thing, and that went belly up in a hard way.
Goldner wanted to make movies,
right?
Yeah, he wanted to be a studio.
Yeah,
right.
And Chris Cox, notice how I said the whole name, so it didn't seem like I was trying to get a dig in, wants to make games.
Yeah.
And they brought him in from Wizards of the Coast, which has been enormously successful over the last 20 some years. But yeah, it feels like, and I know it's hard to get kids to play with toys, right? But other companies are fighting for it and trying for it, right? You don't see massive Mattel layoffs very often.
No, and they're far less profitable at this point.
Yeah.
It sucks that this property that we get together and celebrate so often over the last 13 years is run by people with seemingly no love in their hearts. And this is not a comment on the brand team. All this Hasbro talk that we're launching into is no reflection of Lenny or Tony or Emily or folks at that level. Clearly, they love what they do too. But it's the folks above them. I mean, just how do they feel? I mean, they're just aren't they just waiting for a trap door to open under them at some point? They have to be. Anyways, so again, I warn you all to avoid conversing with the Hasbro apologists that want to tell you that the folks who keep getting laid off are oh, well, they're redundant. They didn't have any value anymore. They blah, 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 blah. Ignore those people. They're no good for you. These are people you do not need in your lives. There should be a joy involved in making toys and providing fun and entertainment for people. And Hasbro seems content to suck that very piece of it out of the whole process. So it was a difficult week to be a fan and a news aggregator for GI Joe, right? Like there was product that came out, and we'll talk about that soon enough. That's pretty exciting, right? It's good stuff. It's great, and it's all in the all in the shadow of this.
Yeah, and I don't want to use the word. I'm not using the word silver lining. I'm not using the word upside. But the one thing this news did for the Joe community and toy community on a larger scale, if you pay attention or follow or like or subscribe, there's lots of people out there to like and subscribe to. And I'm not telling you who to like or subscribe to and who not to like or subscribe to. But watch the tone of the people out there and how they handled this layoff, right? How they handled this news, not the John Warden news, because he was the biggest name that our fan base, not what's into mine, the GI Joe fan base knows as the face of this layoff, right? But watch how people handled this news. Did they shout it down as the bad thing that it is? Or did they just go, oh, well, we wish the best for those let go, but we're not going to comment on Hasbro's business practices, right? You can tell who's bought, I would say bought and paid for, right? Because I don't think Hasbro sends too much out to anybody, but you can tell who's more focused on currying favor than they are in giving honest opinion.
Yeah.
How's that? That's my mini soapbox.
Yeah. And we've never been in that boat. Even when we were the only folks that Hasbro would talk to, we've never been in that boat. So we appreciate you guys hanging around with us and holding your nose with us and being allowing us to say the kind of nice, not nice words.
Look, man, we're the show that tells it like it is, Gorilla.
Gorilla Monsoon is one of Rob's 10 favorite wrestlers, and he's never watched him wrestle.
Great name.
I just like the combination of the words Gorilla and Monsoon.
Yeah, because Gino Morella would not have been nearly as excited.
Look, that's a good one.
It's not bad.
But it's no Gorilla Monsoon.
No.
Look, my favorite comic company is a company that reveled in just putting gorillas on on covers of things just because. How do you not like a Gorilla Monsoon?
Not bad, right? His middle name was Grodd. I'll tell you how you make him better. His middle name was Grodd. Yeah. Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
We are talking. That is better.
Gorilla was the middle name. His first name was actually Magilla.
Oh, that's the best of all.
Oh.
Yeah, not to toot our own horns that it was breaking news, but you heard the unfortunate news about John Warden from us before anybody else. Just throwing that out there. So not that we were excited and like, ooh, let's get this up, but it is news, right?
Yeah, it was unexpected news. Well, I mean, it's one of those that makes perfect sense when you look back on the timeline, but it was not something we were expecting to hear. And Mark sent that text to me that this was going down, and it went out to everyone, unfortunately, because that's the news game.
Yep. Confirmed by us first, and parroted by lots of people saying we're hearing rumblings, or I don't know, give us credit and say we're saying this and let us take the heat if it's wrong.
Right?
We're hearing rumblings. Kiss my ass. Put that on a shirt.
We're hearing rumblings.
Is it really news? Yeah, Sticky Cat Butt.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. A guy who's been super important to the brand is not there anymore. Yeah.
I mean, the company that makes the brand that we get together every week to celebrate, again, is reducing its workforce by 5% at least.
Yeah, and one of them significantly involved, right? So yeah.
A 25-year veteran of Hasbro.
There ain't many of those.
No, there certainly aren't. But anyways, moving forward on that note, while we're talking about John Warden does have a GoFundMe set up. His wife is on some medication that is extremely expensive to treat her Crohn's disease. I don't know if you suffer from Crohn's yourself or you know somebody who suffers from Crohn's. This is not optional medication. Crohn's is nasty business. So we do have the GoFundMe on the screen there. It is also down in the description below. If you got a couple of bucks, send them on that way. And let's help John and his family in the face of being heartlessly laid off from Hasbro. Cheapest big spender has his kiss my former head of marketing ass, the honcho.
There you go. I never ever put it like on my SIG file. I should have, but I used to always call myself the VP of morale at every stop along the way. That way, when I got let go, I could say, well, they canned the vice president of morale. So do with that what you will.
Josiah Alcorn says, I don't know. Would it be better if Hasbro was sucking up all the oxygen, or what we have with Marauders, Super 7, Haya, Chicken Fried Vala, Fresh Monkey, a half dozen Kickstarters? We get you. Look, Josiah, we get you. We have those folks on all the time because we want you to be excited about, tangentially related things. There's your word for the week. But first and foremost, we say it at the beginning of every show. We're a podcast about the world of G.I. Joe, and unfortunately, the you can't unlink that ring from the Hasbro ring, and here we are. Like I don't think it takes up all of our time, but if it wasn't for G.I. Joe, like I don't think we've got enough material to do a weekly, Hiya Toys podcast. We don't have enough to do a weekly Fresh Monkey Fiction podcast. Well, actually, we probably do. They're churning out. Yeah. I've lost track. They're putting out so much stuff lately. So
a lot of monkeys,
right? A lot of monkeys, and they are fresh from the factory.
That is factory fresh monkey.
Smell the monkey.
Wait for the merger. Wait for the merger when it's Chicken Fried Monkeys. Wait.
No, that's good monkey.
But we've had Bill on before. Hey, Bill's good. We should get Bill back. It's just I'm busy. It's difficult.
John
So
John Toole has a good has a booking suggestion for us that I'd like to answer. John Warden has done a couple of local television interviews about leaving, and he's been really diplomatic. God, in the day and a half after it happened, right? But and this ties to his Kickstarter a little bit. I'm sure there's some kind of NDA tied to his severance, and 25 years of severance is probably a decent package, right? So John Warden is not gonna swing skeletons out of the closet right now. He might never, and that's actually more his style. He's very understated, calm, reliable guy. So I don't think you're going to get the tell-all from John Warden, but I guarantee you're not getting the tell-all before that severance has expired. And Hasbro people, by and large, get 1 to 2 weeks of severance pay for every year with the company. So it's possible, now again, possible, and I don't know what they're paying right now, but it's possible he's got up to a year of severance coming. So don't wait by the radio for the tell-all, because it's not coming soon. And if I'm a betting man, it's not coming at all.
Right. And we would never want to put him in a situation to compromise that.
No.
Now, that said, I mean, I know John a little bit. You know John pretty well. Maybe he is interested coming on once the dust settles on things.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'd love to talk about the positive side of his time. So
here's my favorite John Warden story. We were making fun of slug figures, and there was one from WWE at the time that was maybe an inch tall, and it was John Cena looking like John Cena with the hat and the jorts. And he was
hold up before you go any further, Mark. What's a slug figure?
Oh, a slug figure is just one that is. It's just one piece, right? It's like a Green Army man, right?
Okay.
There's no posing, no nothing, except this WWE figure came with 1 point of articulation at the right elbow, so you could make Cena do his thing, right? So Warden said, I think this is how it started. It's not important how it started, really, but he was in my office and I had this figure. I said, look at this terrible figure. He's like, oh, it's a slug figure. I said, aha, it is not, because look, 1 point of articulation. And he's like, wow, I can't even see him. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. And so a week and one X-Acto knife later, you got to handle those secretly.
Right.
Because if a designer sees a marketer with an X-Acto knife, they go, what are you doing? Put it down.
Right. You get the gas grenade.
Yeah,
you get subdued.
Just set it down and we'll talk about this.
The crazy purple knockout gas.
But because Cena was doing this, right, it wasn't nothing to cut a couple of fingers. And now you could make him doing something totally different with that articulation point. So I put the 1 finger salute John Cena right above his head on one of his shelves. So Cena's just there, just flipping the bird to everybody who comes in to talk to him. So I come in 1 week, and I come in like after a week, and it's gone, right? And he hasn't said boo. And I didn't put, love mark on it, but he saw that figure. I introduced him to that figure. So like a month later, I turn around to my office, and who's in the turret of one of the HISS tanks behind me but One Gun John Cena? So I think it was only for about a year and a half. It was towards the end. But he and I would move Cena to each other's office. And whenever we were in each other's office, we would try not to be too obvious as we looked to where we knew we left him. And if One Gun John Cena wasn't there, we knew, God damn it.
Where is it in my office?
I don't know where he is, but I know he's in my office now. And when I left for the last time, I made sure to hide One Gun John Cena somewhere in John Warden's office. I'm sure he found it, but
I would hope by this point.
That was a good bit. That was one of my favorite bits at Hasbro was trading middle finger John Cena around.
Wonderful. So again, we have the link to the GoFundMe down in our description below. It's there on the screen for you if you want to pause there and jot it, whatever. We got options. But again, it's for all the best reasons. We're not trying to make car payments. It is just for medication. So please, if you got a couple of bucks, help John and his family out. Let's move on to better things.
Mm-hmm.
Next news item.
Dude! Just one
All
big
right.
one. Just
All
one
right.
big one.
That's all right. I respect that. Hey,
oh, no.
Here's this guy. Andrew Gauguin. Suddenly, Mark looks down at his desk, and there's John Cena!
Oh, my God.
Right?
Oh, that would be awesome. Anyways, first, we got to see these pictures. It was in Hasbro's MCM Comic-Con London presentation over the weekend. And then we saw him again on their 10/27 show, and then he was up for not pre-order, but for ordering. It's Nemesis Immortal Nay Enforcer. And he's there for all the Cobra Law fans like Mark to order for his $45. Mark Weber, you in on this one?
Let me use this to reference the quasi discussion I had with Diana Davis in the comment section last week, because I want to be very clear about this. This figure is hella cool.
Yeah.
This is a really, really outrageous, and I mean that in the best possible way, right? Like, this is ridiculous and badass in all the right ways, all rolled into one, right? This figure kicks ass. And I never, ever once even thought about buying this figure.
Right.
I don't need it because I don't like Cobra Law, and I will never like Cobra Law, and I never bought a Cobra Law item. Now, Cobra Law has snuck into some of the books I was already supporting, but I will never like this part of G.I. Joe. And there is a big chunk. I'm not saying most. I'm not saying half. I'm just saying there is a sizable portion of the Joe community that feels exactly the same as me on this. I don't like it. I don't need it. I'll never support it willingly. But that being said, for the people who do like it, this figure is all kinds of win.
Yeah, if
there you go.
If you like Cobra Law, even if it's just enough to have the figure, even if you're just being a completist,
yeah,
great figure.
Yep,
Great.
That's
toy.
it. And it's funny. I'm like I was as a kid. I'm a completist, but not Cobra Law and not Tiger Force and not Python Patrol. Don't need them.
Counterpoint, Ragtime Rob.
Comments. I'm seeing a bunch of comments saying, "Hey, sold out" and stuff like that. I couldn't get it. It is in stock now on Hasbro Pulse.
You got to look out for restocks. I know they kind of go in bunches. So just if you didn't see it when you tried to order before, give it a shot now or after the show or over the next couple of days. They're not going to just be out.
Mm.
So chill. Just give them some time. And the funny part of it is, Mark, you and I kind of went back and forth about Cobra Law in the comic last week. I have no inclination to buy this guy either.
But not because he sucks, right?
No, he's awesome for what he is. It's just I don't need Cobra. I said to myself, are you ever going to put this on display on a shelf? And I couldn't say yes to that. Like, there would be no time at any point would I have Nemesis Immortal. Like, he just doesn't fit for me.
Yeah.
So while I'll dig it as a comic book character, I don't need to have figures of every character I see in a comic book and appreciate in that medium. Right. So I did not buy. Ragtime Rob, you ordered Nemesis Immortal.
I did. He may be here tomorrow.
Things tend to come quickly for you, Ragtime Rob.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I had said it shipped out, this morning, when I woke up. So.
Surveillance Port says he needs a belly tramp stamp. You stop that. You stop that right now.
That's Road Pig territory. Hey, Greg Augustin has a good point here, something that brushes on something I think is interesting. I don't know if that's true, but when I was on G.I. Joe.
Anyway, real quick, Mark, before just for our audio listeners.
Yeah.
Greg's question is, are any of those parts borrowed from other lines like Marvel Legends?
And I don't know if that's true, but when I was working on Joe and we had no item count and I was thinking of a way to try to get around it because I wanted more vehicles, right? There weren't any new vehicles. God, we off-strikered the fan base to death. And it broke my heart when I first joined the brand and learned how few vehicle, I'm saying this wrong, how few intact vehicle tooling sets there were. They didn't give you off-strikers because they didn't know any better. They gave you off-strikers because there wasn't much. There just wasn't much. And they weren't going to pay to tool new stuff. But they had made like off-screen, or when I say off-screen, I mean didn't really exist vehicles for lots of Marvel movies, right? Like Captain America, the Winter Soldier came with Cap's Thunder Tank or something like that.
Right.
And I pitched to Daryl and went, is it possible for us to use that tooling and repaint it and create new vehicles? Like if we're not painting it, if it's just a sticker sheet, if it's molded plastic, can I make a Joe tank out of Cap's Thunder Tank? And his pushback was, are you familiar with the vehicles? And I said, not terribly, but I can be. And he's like, they're awful. Like the actual quality of the vehicles is disgusting. And I'm like, have you seen the Cobra Rat? But whatever.
Right.
Daryl said the quality of the vehicles is so far beneath Joe quality that it's a non-starter. And Daryl obviously knows his shows, and I'm not going to fight that fight. But his other bit was, we can't just use Marvel tooling. That's not how it works. Now, I don't know for sure that was true, or if that was just the second salient point to kill the argument. But as explained to me back in the day, I can't just say, hey, Marvel, can I borrow your Professor X in a suit body so I can put Tomax's head on it?
Right.
Right? At least back then, as explained to me, that's not how it works.
Yeah. And again, that just strikes me as being weird. I really, you can never convince me that, and I'm sure you agree to this, but they weren't, and I'm not, again, we're not pointing that finger at Daryl, but above, they just didn't want to do G.I. Joe at that point.
Yeah.
They're probably annoyed with you that you guys wanted to do G.I. Joe and do a good job on G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Well, and back in the day, I'm probably not the only person on this podcast that bought Shang-Chi's first Marvel Legends figure. Because I could have turned him into Quick Kick without much more than a Lazy Bastard custom, right? Like it was real close. But the Joe team did not reuse that tooling. I don't think they did for the Quick Kick figure. So
I don't think so either. No,
they could have used I could have just used the pants and the torso, but whatever. At least Greg back in the day, that wasn't allowed.
Greg asked, didn't I read that Raptor used Marvel Vulture parts? He may have. I don't know. I don't have that Vulture figure at all to compare it to. It would make sense. But
I think those wings on that Vulture were much bigger.
Right.
But regardless,
more salient, Mike, how do we know what Greg Augustin read? That's a hard question.
Right. Anyways, but it's anyways, my answer to the question is, it's a different story for Joe now. There's different rules. Joe is too much of a moneymaker to just be ignored like that. Marvel Legends is not as strong compared to what they put out there right now. So I'm sure the part sharing thing is a little bit more I don't know about encouraged, but certainly allowable. So it wouldn't surprise me, is what I'm saying. I can't say that it did, but I also would be less shocked by it if it happened today.
Oh, quick update on the old Hasbro Pulse website for Nemesis Nemesis Immortal. He's listed as in stock, but if you click on him, it says in stock, sold out.
Right.
Awesome.
So once again, quality control on that website.
Hasbro Pulse,
just outstanding.
Hasbro Pulse doing a great job. Let me tell you my Hasbro Pulse story from this week. I am a Pulse Premium subscriber. I re-upped my subscription in August, or rather, no, it was August for me. It was July for Rob. 10/27 comes. They say, hey, wait, we'll send you a link before the thing starts at noon. All I got from Hasbro Pulse before noon on 10/27 was a message saying, hey, we see you're registered. You need to sign up for Hasbro Pulse Premium. To which I sent an email to their customer care division. Hey, here's the order number. I've been back since August 13th. Where's the link? And so, yeah, even then I got frozen out of the 10/27 event. Well, I would have been frozen out, but I know some people that are not scrupulous about sharing that link.
Bam!
So anyhow, great job, Hasbro Pulse. Great job. Racktime Rob, you ever get that email?
The same emails.
That's right. So maybe
but if I log onto their website, it says welcome Pulse member, a welcome premium member.
Right.
Does it ask you what country you're from?
If it's been too long since I've been there, yes.
It does that to me like every time. Like they click that on just because they know. Mess with this guy.
Let's get the honcho. Anyways,
hey, Greg's got a good point too. Unique tooling for a polarizing figure. Yeah, that's absolute.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah,
we get you. It would be. I mean, unless they're planning on doing the Nemesis Immortal Summer Fun repaint next year for San Diego. That's where he's got Chuckles' torso with the Hawaiian shirt. But anyways, he's available. Keep your eye on the Pulse website. It is a Pulse exclusive for the 10/27 event. They're charging $44.99 for this bad boy. And again, if he's your cup of tea, that's kind of expensive, but it's money well spent. It's a good figure. Just I don't need him.
Plus, you get that weird tentacle thing that nobody knew what the hell to do with back in 1986. Or 87? 87.
87.
Yeah.
87. But yeah. I mean, at least they made the tentacles playable this time. Back in 87, they just kind of they looked like something went splat on his back, and that's a terrible phrase that I just said. But
can you throw this against the wall and watch it crawl its way down? That'd be awesome. Because nobody knows what this thing is, right? It wasn't in the movie, was it?
No, he has tentacles on the back on his movie in addition to the bat wings. Now, that's something you can't do with the figure. But
Rob,
both, yeah.
Rob, you of all people should know this is not the Batwing. Come on now.
Not with you. Because like I said, you see him, he's got he's flying around and there's tentacles going back there. So it's
did those things they plugged into his back on the original figure?
Yeah.
Like a backpack,
and I'm not trying to be goofy here. I never had this figure. So okay.
I think I've got him somewhere. I got him in a lot that I bought a number of years ago.
Yeah, you paid
I think
too
at
much.
one point in the movie he throws something at one of the Joes and it opens up and it's the tentacle thing and it like wraps him up too, I think. But
yeah.
I must have blocked that part out from my memory because Cobra Law sucks.
I mean, he does some pretty cool stuff in that movie, but he's the exact same, like he is to Cobra what Sarge was to the Joes, right?
Right.
The overpowered guy that can do no wrong. Like you're very clearly building him up for that showdown at the end of the movie. So like I didn't mind Nemesis Enforcer too much, because at least he was there to keep Sarge busy.
Yeah, but
yeah.
But his original figure is a dog turd. But
little did he know that he wasn't going to end up facing Sergeant Slaughter. He was going to end up facing John Moxley. And
no, wrong guy. But he said, like even the 87 figures, just like he's kind of muscly, but he's kind of small. He's a little too small. He didn't live up to the fearsome nature they gave him in that movie. So even that was your attempt. That was your one shot at redeeming that figure 3-pack, and they kind of failed.
Yeah.
So. The figure 6-pack has the saddest comment I've ever read.
That one, he's a $50 stand for Sergeant Slaughter.
Right above that one, the figure 6-pack.
Was it the Starfish Shuriken or the Mummifying Clam?
I'm not mad at him for writing it. I'm mad at somebody else for writing that back in the day, right? Like, kids are going to eat this up. No, they aren't.
I believe that is script by Ron Friedman. And
no offense.
Story editing by our pal Buzz Dixon.
Not mad at that.
That does sound like something that would be really cool if shouted by the Monarch on the Venture Brothers.
Right.
Bring him to the Mummifying Clam.
And Brian King is on my no-fly list for mentioning that he got an extra Storm Shadow to strip down and who's not making Armadillo.
I tell you,
what is wrong with you, dude?
Clearly, an armadillo is needing to be made, and
they don't make a head ugly enough for armadillo.
Well, somebody needs to find a head and just paint the hair like the helmet. That would be the best ever.
What you got to do is take one of those falcon heads and then go out to a gravel road and just kind of grind it in for a while. Anyway,
yeah, and it would look better. Right. That's that old. It's a cornet line, right? That they say a hurricane went through Tampa and did $10 million worth of improvements.
Terrible. Anyways, also this week, hey, this guy showed up. Here too, we saw the first images of the figure at their presentation from the MCM Comic-Con in London. But there's Heavy Duty. I said duty.
Right? Wait. Go back. Look how much happier he looks in the second photo after he put down 400 pounds worth of gear.
Now that he's not destroying the cartilage in the lower back, look at him.
Yeah. He's not jumping down. He's actually ascending. He's flying to the heavens. They have to put that gear on him to keep him down, right? Keep him weighted. And I'm not ripping the gear. I love the gear.
Right. Yeah. It's cool. It's a much better build than they had back in 1991 for him.
Yeah. Although I'm missing the red eye monocle thing.
It's there.
Is it? I don't see it.
You can see it in the big gear picture here if we zoomed in, but I didn't zoom in.
It's right under the second head.
Right. Oh, there it is. Okay, I was reading that as a microphone.
Yeah, no, it's laying flat, so you can. Anyways, Heavy Duty is a Pulse exclusive as well. He is a deluxe figure, so he's priced at the $34.99 point. But he's pretty cool for what he is. Heavy Duty was always a well-designed figure. He had some crazy gear. But if you don't like the rig, then just give him give Valaverse $15 for a figure for a weapons pack and give him something out of there.
Come get weapons pack India. It's brand new. Comes with a blowtorch.
But we got all kinds of cool missile effects, probably reused from Metalhead. Hopefully the launchers have a little bit more space to accommodate them. But from what you can see in some of the other shots, those missile launchers come off the side of the rig, and he can actually just carry one of them and shoot it off of his shoulder like a more standard rocket launcher, which is cool. Mm-hmm. Kind of opens the door for being reused on a salvo somewhere later on. Jake Rose asks if he's an exclusive. I don't know. I went ahead and said that I couldn't find him anywhere else.
He is not. I got notifications from Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store that he is there.
All right. So that's been added since about 2:30 this afternoon. But yeah, nice addition here. Dude, so he's not an exclusive. Ignore that line. He's still $34.99.
This photo makes this rig look like a pack rat. Off it goes.
Hey, maybe.
Maybe.
That'd
be kind of cool.
Maybe.
I'm going to put Professor X in there with his legs up. It's going to be his scooter of death. Yeah.
Professor X's murder chair.
Good Lord. Figure Six Pack asks, have we seen the mobile desk from the show Get Smart? Oh, I think we have.
Oh yeah.
It looks just like this. Yeah, we've seen Get Smart. We know about Get Smart.
The driving desk, yes.
I haven't seen enough of Get Smart, but I've seen enough to know the driving desk.
Surveillance port with a double off the wall.
Murder stool because he's heavy duty.
Yep.
And he will see himself out.
Yes, he will. No, wait. His item's coming up.
Rachel Salinas asks, wasn't Kamakura also $34.99? Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and defend the price point for Kamakura. He came with an extra head and a bunch of stuff. I'm not gonna say he was super cheap, but no, he's no murder rig.
Yeah. This justifies the $34.99 better than Kamakura did.
Well, and the term Kamakura is Japanese for overpriced.
It is.
Yeah. Man, it's bad when two fans have the exact same rip, just barely written
at the same time,
written barely differently, right? And I don't believe they're collaborating, but they are. They are
in spirit.
So, Rack Time Rob, you're wearing on heavy duty.
Yeah, I did order a heavy duty. I do
Mark
like
Weber.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
yeah, I picked him up too. I really wasn't planning to, and then it was like, yeah, he's
heavy
right.
duty to me seems like even back in the day when he had what looked to be like some sort of mobile card table or one of those rigs that the cigarette girls in clubs used to have. It was. He seemed like, in terms of the figure, he would fit in very well with the Joes of my time. Mm-hmm. So,
right.
I like the rig. I like the fact that you could adapt it, and I like the fact that it wasn't Cobra Law. So those are 3 wins.
3 check marks for the hunt.
Yeah, it's outstanding.
Oh, I'm just gonna keep going with Cobra Law, aren't we?
Hey man, I'm nothing if not consistent.
True.
Look at his brutal chest cut. Just haven't said that in a while.
I mean, it could be that from carrying that thing around, he's got just such a defined line of muscle that it's just eating his shirt, man.
I like this, that they put basically the cab of a semi truck in front of him to cover up that brutal chest cut. That's well played right there.
Look, those are actual surgery scars from the steel rods they had to put in.
Right.
Just eating his shirt, man. Just oh. Jake Rose going down memory lane. I remember how testy Hasbro would get about us calling him Roadblock in the DDP years because Hasbro lost the Roadblock name. Yeah, it was fun.
You got to watch those
heavy duty.
You got to watch them trademarks, man, especially important ones.
Right.
You never know who might be waiting to pounce and jump on.
Never know.
Moving forward. Next news item.
Duty.
Duty. We had one more that popped up for pre-sale, pre-order today, and we had seen him before. The Trench Viper with his lean-to / outhouse, or the Cobra perimeter is what it's officially called. They did some cool shots of this one. The one on the left in the big picture here, you can't do it justice on our tiny screen, but that's just showing all of them linked together like that. That's pretty cool. And then a more traditional shot of the Trench Viper with his little happy shed next to it.
They don't get enough credit for their photography. Their photography is phenomenal. Yeah.
I mean, they were all. There's a whole bunch of them that didn't get shown, but all of these are. It's all heavy duty fighting a bunch of Trench Vipers, and so I like that they keep it consistent with what they're putting it out at the time. This is a not a 1027 exclusive, and it's not Nemesis Immortal. What am I doing on this slide? Good God, man.
You picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue.
It didn't take any of my changes. Anyway, ignore all the stuff on the left part of the screen there. These guys are checking in at $54.99, and they are not Pulse exclusives.
No, they are.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, so the bottom line I got right.
Well, that's really interesting. I'm guessing it was because retailers didn't want to carry it. Because this is a lot of tooling to not try to maximize your return.
Right. Mark Weber, how many were you in for?
I'm just in for one. I like it. I like the concept of it is great, but I'm not paying $55 to make Cobra Legos, right?
Right.
Like,
I would love to build. I would love to build a ramshackle fortress, but I do not have the funds to do it at $55 a pop.
One is good,
Rob, how about
and I love the Trooper. So yeah, one is good.
I ordered one.
Yeah, same. I here again. I thought I was going to be able to pass on this one, but that rework of the Alley Viper is too good. He kind of works like a heavy weapons guy for an Alley Viper squad, and then that barricade is. There's all kinds of fun things going on there. So I couldn't say no. I'm not buying more than one, but I'm buying. I'm good with one. I feel good about a purchase like that.
I want to do a diorama shot, and I'm not much of a photographer, but a diorama shot of Tim Roberts trying to high jump over this and landing on the far side.
Screw you, Weber.
Dude, I'm the first guy here to help. How are you mad at me?
Were you doing squeaky teen voice, Weber, on that one?
I would have been in 8th grade, so there was probably some crackage going on. Tim, are you okay?
Oh my God, Tim!
Are you dead?
Two-time first-team All-Pro quarterback Steve Young asks, "What's the logic on selling only 3 per since it's a set builder? You know, on first release, I get it. You want to make sure that everybody's got it.
Yeah.
Is this in stock or is this a pre-order?
I think it's a pre-order.
So they could still set the number wherever they want, right?
Sure.
Theoretically. I know it doesn't always work. Like this is probably on the water, right? So I know it doesn't always work like that. But.
Right. I'm sure too. Or at very least the order's in at the factory.
Yeah.
And that way, if it's popular enough, they'll do another run.
But
I have a feeling being a Pulse exclusive, it might take a while for these to sell out.
If you were building something modular, though, wouldn't it make sense to put it up ahead of time and go, hey, this isn't coming out till first quarter 2025, but sell as many as you possibly could?
Mark, what makes sense to you and I doesn't necessarily make sense to them.
Yeah.
They just like to sell things and then fire people afterwards.
Yeah.
So I
don't know. If you want to play along at home, pretend you're a Hasbro executive that hadn't thought of that and really doesn't like the redheaded guy bringing stuff like that up again, and you'll realize why I got shown the door.
Realize why we never get any kind of emails from Hasbro until we just have to kick their door down and ask for it. Although the their PR folks are great about sending us emails. So kudos to whoever Hasbro's using for PR.
Voice of reason is not just a thankless job, but is often the pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I own that.
Yeah.
Mike, did you see the comment from Rachel Salinas?
I saw surveillance port extolling that he will build a wall of poop shacks.
So, but Rachel knows.
I'm looking.
Yeah, Rachel knows the inside baseball on it.
There we go. We're gonna build a wall that Joe fans are gonna pay for it. Yep.
Nobody ever asked that follow-up question. Joe Rogan.
TC says should have been a generic blue soldier. I disagree.
Yeah.
This is very much an Alley Viper kind of deal. So
if this was
cool with Alley Viper repainter,
if this was a basic Cobra guide they'd released before, I might not have bought it. Right? The Viper that's 60% of why I bought this thing.
Yeah. I dig the Viper more than the Poop Shack. Although I gotta say, I dig the poop. I like that the Joes are finally being taken care of, or the Cobras are finally being taken care of. Mm-hmm. You know, they need a place to let that sort of thing happen. So
yeah,
Poop Shack.
Well, and I like the idea here that if this sells well, other stuff might not be that far away, right? Like Checkpoint Alpha was awesome, even though it didn't do a whole lot, right? Like,
right.
I'd love to see. That's where we're at vehicle-wise. Like HasLab and a Vamp now and then, you'll see some stuff. But I think this is where their comfort level is. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just love how everyone is calling them, Porta-Johns, and I just keep seeing the pictures of that Hasbro had where you're stacking them up on top of each other. I'm just like, oh god,
dude, somebody's gonna do a picture with Beast Wars Megatron shot from the back and the door open and the Viper just sitting there looking up,
holding a newspaper.
Yep.
That Simpsons gag with the double-decker outhouse.
Oh god.
Oh no! Oh god!
Didn't this guy at 3 3/4? Didn't he come with the Rage in like '98? Isn't that the Viper he's hearkening back to?
I don't think so. That was billed as an Alley Viper officer, and he was more gray.
It was gray. I remember
Blue Alley Viper with the camo was more.
No, Marcus thinking basically the Toys R Us. Anniversary, from like '97.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so
that one.
Further back than I am. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's where he's coming from. And that was a good thing.
Maybe.
But there was a Rage release during Rise of Pursuit of Cobra that had that kind of gray Alley Viper officer.
Gotcha.
And then we did have some other news coming out of the MCM presentation. Next news item, Mark.
There's a lot of dudes in the porta potty. It's a whole lot of duty going on. Okay.
So remember, none of that information is correct. $54.99 on Hasbro Pulse.
Yes.
$54.99.
Yeah.
Per Poop Shack.
Yeah.
We got some digital renders. Got Blowtorch and we got the Frag Viper. Frag Viper looks better than he has any business looking. Because that was kind of a dog from the old series, back in the day. But that guy looks okay. They brightened up that brown bodysuit a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Blowtorch has all kinds of fun stuff. Tampa's favorite Irishman, sporting the flamethrower they gave him a sidearm. He's got all kinds of flame effects. Very cool. Very happy to see these guys coming soon. What do you think, Mark Weber?
I mean, I get that the original weapon was green, but come on, like,
I don't know.
But that is my lone complaint. This guy's great. Like, if you think about how bad parts of that original Blowtorch was, like that fully yellow face mask, right?
Yeah.
The ability to actually see his eyes is a huge bonus.
From what Tony said on Instagram, that the helmet and mask do come off.
That's great. And I actually liked the green blowtorch that was hard to find for a while before some magnificent son of a bitch made him more available to Joe fans. Because I like my Joe's
ninth blowtorch, right?
Right. I like my Joe's more tactical, right? And so I like the green blowtorch because the yellow and red, come on. Yeah. Like the guy's already wearing kerosene on his back, right? Now you're gonna light it and let's put a target on the backpack. But it's how he looked. I get it. It's the right call.
The extra painted details, I think, do a lot to bring the overall brightness of that figure down a little bit. So I like what we're seeing there.
That's fair. I don't like the green gun pistol either, but whatever.
I kind of liked, basically, this is kind of like, those extra touches that they added on the Sun, when he was on the Sunbow cartoon, as opposed to the straight figure, which I always liked a little bit better. Although I happened to like Blowtorch back in the day. So,
well, I remember him
bright as he was.
Right. I remember him being enormously hard to get his helmet on straight. Like it would kind of default to being over one ear completely and behind the other one. That's maybe mine was wonky, but that's how I remember my blowtorch.
I've had a couple of blowtorches. I can't say I've had that problem. So
okay, maybe it was me.
Yeah,
bad finger dexterity, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you were on a track team where they coached your guys to miss the fall pit. It's not good. You got to learn anything there.
And then they had us run a relay at one of the events in high school where nobody in a running event was eligible. It was all a bunch of shot putters and pole vaulters, and you never saw so many batons bouncing around the track in your life. It was great.
I remember when I was in gym class in high school, the team I was running on won the 4x400 relay simply because we were the one team that did not drop the baton.
Right. I remember it was. Go ahead,
Mark. I was going to say, back in the day, I could actually run a little bit. I was not weighing that team down, but yeah, we really just won because nobody dropped the baton.
Right. Yeah, that's a big advantage, right? They always did this at the same event. It was in Crook County. And I remember clear as day, I think it was my junior year, when they announced it over the loudspeaker, they said, would the participants in the Fat Man's Relay come to the starting? Right. Actually called it the Fat Man's Relay. That's awesome.
I always liked running the 400 in those crummy events, classes and stuff. Simply because it was long enough that it looked like I was working really hard, and short enough that I didn't want to run any I didn't want to run any further than that. So 400 cool. Was it.
Yeah.
I didn't have that fast twitch fastness to where I was good in the 100. Yeah. It was 400. I needed to get some momentum going.
Yeah, I didn't really have the slow twitch muscles either. I had what they called no twitch muscles. That's okay.
The no twitch.
Yeah, that was me.
I used to be able to run pretty good. I don't know what happened to me, man.
Dude, I was never a runner.
Oh, right. Donuts. Donuts happened to me.
It's so good.
Oh, my back exploded. That's what happened to me. That's actually what happened to me.
Donuts. I regret nothing.
I was running and my back exploded. So yeah, it's.
Can you guys explain to me what the swooshy smoke thing of the Frag Viper is? Is that supposed to be the grenade leaving a trail?
Yeah,
I believe, yeah, it's so you can display him in mid-throw.
So that's like a smoke grenade activating as he's releasing it.
Or it's just whoosh marks in plastic form, but one or the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm mad at it. Like Mike said, this is chicken salad out of chicken shit, kind of, right? Like,
right. The Frag Viper was, I don't know if he was real high on anybody's list.
Yeah. Well, you know that crayon you never used, the burnt sienna?
Yeah.
We're going to make a figure out of that one, but we'll give him a blue slash and a bright silver helmet for pops of color. Like, okay.
I mean, they even gave him sidearms in this one. He's not totally useless if he's out of grenades.
Right. Well, he still had the stabby claw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
and not only that, I mean, look at that backpack. He's got a lot of grenades.
yeah, he's got like 9 or 10. And one of them's got whooshy marks.
Mm.
Anyway. Also at London Comic-Con. We got some name-only reveals. These are all for the retro collection. If somebody decided we needed a retro Flint, give me odds on how different in terms of percent is he going to look from the Flint that we already got.
I will give them a ton of credit if they give him an unscarred head, right? Because the current one's got a pretty good scar going on. So retro Flint shouldn't have a scar.
Right. And if they do the dark green shirt instead of the black shirt like the cartoon had, I could see that being the only real difference.
Yeah.
I forgot about the scar. I haven't had Flint in hand for a few months now, so I forgot about the scar.
And if they do the beret as that gray, that that's basically just cartoon coloring of black. But if they give him a gray beret and not a black, and I could kind of
imagine we won't see that tactical vest either. It'll probably be,
Yeah. If they do it up big, it'll be different enough to be cool. Will they do it up big?
I mean, Josh B, welcome to the show, says Flint's going to be a new sculpt like Duke and Scarlet. I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that on the show, but I admittedly wasn't paying that much attention.
Based on what? Did they say that?
I don't know,
but I mean,
Flint and Televiper were prominent in the UK comics. Well, Flint was prominent in all the comics.
Yeah.
UK comics had a thing for Footloose too.
Because of the diaper.
Because they really latched on to his plight of being secure and dry on the battlefield. But they also promised retro cover girl. She will have the blonde look like she did in the Mass Device. That is really a really popular repaint in the last couple of years for somebody who may 8 minutes of screen time total in 5 episodes.
And never did she ever drive the Wolverine?
I would have to go back. I
mean not notably anyway.
Except for the scene in the base where her and Timber take the bomb outside. You really don't see her again, even in the big battle scenes and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe they showed it in a passing shot or something. I don't know. I don't remember. I'd have to go watch the Mass Device again, and I'm good with that for a little while.
Brian King has a good point here, talking about the Super 7 crossover here, right? Like Super 7's done a cartoon Flint. They did the blonde cover girl, right? Like,
yeah.
Hasbro can't. It's still their property, right? But from a collector standpoint, you're not more excited to get something that Super 7 just did?
Yeah, I mean, on our social media, my feelings on this wave were, I announced these as repaint, lady repaint, and Cobra repaint. So you see where my excitement level is at this point,
right?
And then the Televiper it's going to be the Televiper that we got which is a good idea because those trouble bubbles are kind of tough to come by, and they'll give them the arms that they gave the Viper to save on that tooling. He'll have the blue hand guards like he did in 25th anniversary, and they'll call it a win.
I kind of got the idea that the Flint was going to look more like the figure rather than the cartoon. So,
I mean, Super 7 really is supposed to be the guys owning the cartoon look. So, and yet here they are with blonde cover girl. So,
if that's what people are clamoring for, then I guess that's kudos on them.
Did they do an Ultimates of blonde cover girl? I know they did. They just they've done a 5-point and the O-ring.
Yeah.
No scores in the live chat, please. Mark has the game on tape.
That's right.
Hold
on.
But
look away.
No, I'm just going.
Type some junk comments in there so Mark can scroll past it.
Nah, it's fine. I just went to the different chat window for a little bit.
If you double click on the comments, it should make that whole thing go away for you, Mark.
Oh, look at that.
You double click on the word balloon that says comments.
I'll be very honest with you, Mike. The last time I tried something new, like technically in the comments, I banned Rob. So
if it goes wrong, then there's no way that action can ban someone. So
I'm not saying that was the wrong call, but it's possibly an overreaction.
Butterscotch.
Butterscotch.
Good comments.
Look at this. I appreciate it. Folks helping me out. Largo Flickle. Put that one in there. There you go.
But yeah, John Toole calling dirty pool on another part of another branch on the tree. Hasbro's dirty as heck. They give the Ghostbuster IP to Mondo and launch a $400 Ghostbuster HasLab the same week Mondo releases theirs. I mean, Mondo ain't hurting for cash either. That Peter Venkman and Sam Hain 2-pack is $200 and something. So no way. I mean, if yeah.
Did that Ecto One fund? I honestly don't know.
I have no idea.
I know they're basically, they put a it still has plenty of time to fund. They did put an early bird on there. If it funded in the first 2 weeks, you got, Lewis Tully.
Ooh.
But I don't think that it made it.
Come on, man. You should be more excited about a Rick Moranis action figure.
Who doesn't love Rick Moranis, right? But
he is a bad dude and a comedy genius.
Yeah.
I would happily take a Lewis Tully Ghostbusters figure because it's Rick Moranis.
My favorite line in that movie from him is when Egon goes, "We want to take a sample of your brain tissue." He goes, "Okay."
Okay.
Like, and it isn't, he's not dumb. It isn't that he didn't understand the question. It's that he's got absolutely nothing going on in his life. So donating brain tissue sounds like a better Saturday than he had planned.
And he was just recovering from being turned into a giant demon dog. So
right. He was pretty exhausted at that moment. So
yeah.
John Toole goes further. No, it just seems like the ex-girlfriend that becomes interested in you when you meet someone new. To me, and fair enough. Fair play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
fair play. But Dustin Jeffrey giving us some stats. Currently at 8,005 of 12,000 for the Ecto One. So
okay,
we'll get there. This thing's gonna fund. I just don't think you're getting the Lewis Tully, but
yeah,
they're gonna make an Ecto One.
Mm-hmm. I hope they make the secretary. Are they going to make the secretary? What was her name? Annie Potts, I think.
Right.
Janine. I hope they make a Janine figure. Oh.
Look, man.
Ghostbusters, what do you want?
Your hatred of Ghostbusters is I just don't understand it.
I don't have hatred of Ghostbusters. Don't misrepresent me like that.
That's
It's only
Ghostbusters.
It's only one guy's favorite. See, I even updated my pitch to be more accurate.
Well, it's like 8,000 guys' favorite, apparently.
No, it isn't.
I mean, they're at 8,000 on that HasLab.
Look, if those guys are dropping 400 on an Ecto One, I guarantee you they collect more than Ghostbusters. So it's a stretch to say it's their favorite. They like it, but come on. One guy's favorite.
Shout out to Alex.
Yeah.
Who's not watching, but whatever.
No.
Moving on. Next news item. Oh, Lordy. From the Kickstarter department. That's right. Kicking That Chicken still going on. They are funding until November 18th. That's from our friends at Chicken Fried Toys. The focus of this Kickstarter is to bring horses to their Western Tales line, but they managed to sneak some cool Cobra homages in there. So be sure to head over to Kickstarter, type in Kicking That Chicken, and this will pop up for you. It's already funded, so you may pledge with confidence. You can see what's unlocked. You see in the picture there, we've got a Cobra Trooper, a Cobra Commander, a Crimson Guard, and a Snake Eyes character homage there. But you can see what's unlocked and what's available, and what's available to you, and all that other good stuff. So head over before November 18th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Get your pledge in and support Chicken Fried Toys.
I don't want to play amateur designer because, boy, the designers hated me when I did that. If that's supposed to be Cobra Commander, shouldn't he be even a slightly lighter blue?
I'll be honest with you, Mark. I don't know which one is supposed to be Cobra Commander. I just remember that one of them is.
I assume it's second from the left, the one with the...
I think so, too. The one that is not under the Kickstarter logo, yeah.
But before you said that, I didn't know that one was supposed to be Cobra Commander. And that's a little bit of a problem. And I'm not saying, where's the metal mask? Or how come they didn't tool him? Where's the hairdryer gun? Or anything like that. But making him a slightly lighter blue would help identify who he's supposed to homage.
Right. Differentiate him a little bit.
Yeah.
Too, I dig that he looks like his troopers, but maybe a little too much.
Maybe the commander shouldn't look like the trooper, right?
Maybe that's feedback to go over to Kickstarter.com and present there. These are far from production stage. Maybe that's something that can be changed.
Yeah, and I think the internet is basically around for yahoos like me to give little critiques to projects other people have worked really hard on. And if you like doing that, come to Eternal Baseball.
Yeah, I this is the week where I question your sanity, Mark, because I see you posting Eternal Baseball stuff. And for folks who are new, give us the 5-second elevator pitch on Eternal Baseball.
So it's a computer sim. It's my side hustle project. Me and my oldest friend, Brent Rotundi, have had it running for 4 seasons. 5th season starts soon in the next couple weeks, and we're putting up the all-time lineups. The idea is the best players ever for your favorite baseball team, all at their statistical peak, competing with other all-time teams for a mythical championship. So season 5 starts soon. You can check it out at eternalbaseball.com or on Twitter. I'm not going to say X. And Facebook. Those are good places to tell me, why are you playing Jimmy Fox over Mark McGwire? I get that stuff a lot.
Madness.
Yeah.
Madness. But,
I thought you said players go to the place they played the most. How come Cano's not on the Yankees? Cano can't make the Yankees. Well, I'm not going to play that steroid freak in Seattle at second base. Okay, so go with Brett Boone. Right?
Oh, wait. Whoops.
Wait.
Right, because because there are no whispers about him. Fine. That's the kind of stuff I deal with. Pleasantly.
Right. I have to say that, Mark, your patience is legendary, because I'd have closed up that shack after maybe season 2.
My favorite, my favorite bit today, because we're friends with lots of pages, a Boston group put up, I don't know if this Yankee team has the stones to rally from an 0-3 deficit. Only one team has ever done that. Suck it, Yankee fans. And I was about to type the low-hanging fruit. How's that golf game going, Boston?
Yeah.
But I didn't. And I went with the deeper stab and the twist. And I went, man, Mookie is playing so well right now. Which is my John Cena.
Yeah.
Again,
you guys traded away your best homegrown talent in 30 years.
No scores in the live chat, please, as Mark has the game on recording.
That's exactly right. Which I know is a fool's errand, but we hope.
She came in late. She didn't know.
Yes, I'm not mad at her. Come on, man. Just trying to help. Appreciate it.
I again, we appreciate it.
Sibilance. Mic check. Sibilance.
Syphilis? What?
Sure.
So you're a roadie. What does it do? I make sure the scarves are in place.
Next news item. Hey, look, we know these guys. It's chaos. It's talked to Darren last week on the big launch for his All Villains All the Time Kickstarter. Still rumbling along. It is was over 12,000 earlier today. Rack time, Rob, you got a total for me?
No.
Oh. Can I throw all my support behind Raccoon Man, second from the right?
Yes, you can.
Love him.
I believe that was Maniac. Yes.
That's right.
Here we go.
And he's dancing on the floor.
Yes, it is at 12,371 against a goal of 50,000 with 25 days to go.
So probably the best thing we can all do to help Darren out, because he, if you watched the show last week, you understand that he got pushed into launching this a little bit sooner than he was expecting. So PR was ultimately what made the sacrifice. Just keep spreading the word.
Mm-hmm.
Get this wherever, whatever toy groups you're in. Just make sure that they know this. There are G.I. Joe and O-Ring fans everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure they know about this set. You can see the 4 original characters from the starter set there. They will fund along with a couple of Army Builder figures at 50,000. And then they will march into many stretch goals from there, many of which were spotlighted on last week's show. So go again, you see, as seen on What's on Joe Mind 328, that is last week's show. Go back and check that out. It is the first hour of the program. So you don't have to try and fast forward to find out where Darren is. We had to get him out early, so we let him go first. This whole show was chaotic. They are funding until November 24th at midnight. So that's the night of the 23rd. That's last call. But let's go ahead. Let's keep it going. It's been weird for a Kickstarter, and that it's been kind of a slow and steady growth to this point. But let's keep that going. Let's help them get that late mid campaign explosion, so we can get some stretch goals unlocked for Chaos.
Mm-hmm. With their bitchin' logo. Love that logo.
It is great. That is a great logo.
Yep.
Bart asks, will this show be over before tomorrow with all this sports ball talk?
No.
Maybe not.
I don't need sleep. No.
Here's given when I'm going to start watching the rest of this game, don't send me any of your jackball emails at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Is the order shipped yet? You'll get a different answer than you will at 10.
Next news item.
Do.
We're trying to roll through it. There's just a lot happened this week. We had reveals.
Dude, I'm not shorting the show. I'm just word to the wise. I'm going to be on light sleep tomorrow.
Got some Skybound bits. Nothing new on the racks for you tomorrow. In fact, we're pretty clear until November 13 when G.I. Joe 1 finally hits the stands. Same day as Transformers 14. So a couple of Energon Universe titles for you coming up in the middle of November.
Can't wait. Digging it. My Transformer son was back from college this week, and one of the first things he asked when he got home was, "Hey, Dad, do you have the Transformers comics handy? I want to get caught up." So
you should buy him some trade paperbacks for Christmas.
Trade paperbacks. I should just get him on his iPad so he can flip.
Look, I thought I was making a helpful suggestion for a back and forth college student as Derek is. I thought I was helping you out there.
Not a fan of trades. I know lots of people are not a fan.
Look, not my preferred method either, but cheap and easy. Mm-hmm. And if they get beat up, you don't care.
That's a good point.
I mean, that's really it. It's durability with the you know how them college kids get. He's going to spill beer on it.
Sure. Well, no, not at Messiah University, but we hope. But not to climb up on another Weber soapbox, right? But if you like
sacramental wine,
if you like how comic book writers are now shoehorned into writing 6-issue arcs always, then go get yourself some trade paperbacks.
Yeah. I mean, my counterpoint to that would be they're already doing it. So
I mean that Worm is not going back in the box, but
right. Jake Rose with the stat count there. Just saw the G.I. Joe 1 has 225,000 pre-orders. That's a good number.
That probably makes it the #1 book for the month and one of the highest of the year.
Big time. Love it.
Better than what's it? Super Macho DC Batman 1. What's that title called?
Oh, Absolute Batman?
Batman Who Lifts.
I don't know. I don't know the numbers on Absolute Batman, but their numbers on that were pretty big.
I hate it. I hate the concept. I don't mind the Superman and Wonder Woman pitches, but that Batman pitch, absolutely hate it.
What's he doing? He's like muscly?
He's gigantic. He's like a refrigerator with a head. And that's just that doesn't work as Batman for me.
So he's like, Bane, come get your whipping.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Can you imagine how big, Absolute Bane would be? The size of
the Batman Who Lifts. I love that.
That's
God bless you, Internet. There's still some pockets of you that are incredible.
Yep.
Greg Augustin asks, what's the page count of G.I. Joe #1? You're the comic guy, Greg. I count on you to find that stuff out.
Man.
I need you to figure that out and tell me. I don't know. I'm sorry, Greg. I didn't mean to come down on you there.
I think it's a standard size issue, whatever that would be for,
Yeah, maybe a couple extra pages of ads because it's selling so good.
Surveillance port with a triple down the line, rattle around in the corner a little bit.
3 pages, 457 covers. Surveillance port, well done.
That's well played. They should make a toy out of you. They just did.
Andrew Gauguin says, Batman Who Lifts, generally LOL that's not mine, man. I didn't make that up. I'm not taking credit for that.
That's been going around for weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just something I've jumped on that wagon because it's awesome.
Yeah.
That
Dave
was
McDonald asks, bigger than the Wild Dog miniseries?
Ooh.
Sure. I don't know anything about the Wild Dog. Are you talking the one from the 80s? I don't know. I got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's no Wild Dog series coming up anytime soon.
Greg Augustin sent a graphic to me a couple of weeks ago with all of the covers for G.I. Joe #1. So to help fans that wanted to collect them all keep track. And since then they've added there's 15 more covers. And it's not I want to add too, it's not Skybound and Image doing that. There's a lot of retailer specific covers because that's something they make available if you kick in a couple of grand or whatever, that they will print it and put your specific cover on it for them if you buy however many copies. So yeah, there's a lot of those. There's a lot of those.
That's not a Skybound or a G.I. Joe thing. That's just a comic thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you are, and kudos, if you are trying to get every cover, and my advice to you is stop. Get some help.
Right. We do need to have a health check on our friend Josh Eggebean of After Action Report because he will try and get them all.
Poor guy. Help him out, please.
Right.
People,
we'll need to check in on him.
Yeah.
He's actually trying to, catalog this for posterity.
I'll get him the Pegasus Books cover from Bend, Oregon. I'll take care of that for you.
God bless you. And next news item.
Oh, new cover.
Oh, that's it. It's the Chunky Tank Kitty cover.
It's over.
For G.I. Joe #1, brought to you by the G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast. That is limited to just 5,000 copies, so be sure to get yours. No, that's not true. Be sure to subscribe to the G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast. You can find a link to their page on YouTube from our page on YouTube.
Oh.
But they are happy to present Chunky Tank Kitty and his Meowler tank and all the toys made from that particular corner of our brand. We love those guys, Mark and Mike and Archwan, and their gaggle of crazy 3D printing folks. Be sure to join up in their group on Facebook. You can get all of the ins and outs on their upcoming desert vehicle build for classified sized figures. That's kind of real world military stuff that they're trying to design from scratch. It's pretty cool. I don't know anything about 3D printing, nothing at all. But I'm amazed by what they can pull off with math. Right? I'm good at math, and that's too much math. It's too much math. I can't do that.
I was told there would be no math.
That's the news.
It just came to me. Figure 6-pack with the big assist there. Chunky Tank Kitty is basically telling Heavy Duty, "Hold my beer." Look what I.
Jeff 45 says, really, the baseball talk wasn't necessary. Really, it's not. We don't care.
Is any of this necessary?
It's part of the show, man. It's a talk show about G.I. Joe, for Christ's sake. Sorry.
We'll see you next week.
Right? Mark Weber. If you can keep it quick to maybe one item, what'd you get in?
This one I snuck home today just because he's not the most popular guy in the line. Oh, that's pretty bright.
Ooh, let me get you in the big window.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Get you in the big window.
This is Sidewinder, and he's my favorite guy from the new Action Force Series 5. He's the first Mexican character, which I like. The fans really liked that he has a left-handed, a holster on his left side, so he's the first lefty. But the original art has him holding his gun right-handed, so we made him ambidextrous.
Means he can breathe underwater.
The best bit, I love this because I got to write the file card. He was the first time New Colonia, the bad guys, did a raid in Mexico. They saw him administering first aid to people, just civilians, instead of retreating. And they're like, that guy's got stones. And so they captured him, conscripted him. He was basically in the bad guy army. And when they fought Action Force, he provided intel to turn the tide of the battle and basically turned face, became a good guy. So he's a soldier, but he also had the beginning. He wanted to be a doctor, so he has medical training. He's valuable. He's a guy you would probably want on your hip if you trusted him, right? But he came from the enemy forces. And the idea is he's basically the bodyguard for the top dog of the good guys, Colonel Siege. And Siege trusts him implicitly, and no one else does.
Right.
So if you're looking at long-term storytelling, this guy, in my own brain and from nothing else, this guy has an aha moment down the road where he makes the hero stand and proves his doubters wrong, or where he turns NWO. And either way, it would be awesome. So I'm a big fan of Sidewinder. He'll be available on Valiverse.com soon.
Surveillance Sport says snitches get stitches, Stoolie. He's a friggin' rat. Is that what you're saying?
Well, he didn't join voluntarily. He was conscripted into it. And Easter eggy way on the back on the file card. Probably can't see it. But his name is Federico Ruiz, because he kind of looks like the exchange student from Mexico on my soccer team in high school, center mid Federico. So my boy Federico is getting one in the mail shortly. So with a note of explanation why I sent him an action figure out of nowhere.
Right. Named it after you, kid.
Named it after you, at least partially, right? First name's better than last.
Rack time, Rob. What we get in?
All righty, here we go.
I know you had the one thing you've been wanting to show off all week, so let's see it.
Dude.
The Justice Society, or at least 3 of them.
Golden Age superheroes in superpowers form is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know who ate that up was Daryl DePriest. He loved the Justice Society. Huge fan.
So you got which characters there, Rob, for people that aren't paying attention to?
It was Hour Man,
wasn't we have the Golden Age Starman, the Golden Age Hour Man, and the Golden Age Green Lantern.
So hitters is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Big hitters.
All the ladies love our man.
Well, lasts an hour.
He pops that pill. He goes for an hour.
Yeah.
Andrew Gauguin credits Mark for making him more interested in checking out Sidewinder. So there you go.
I mean, there's 5 main figures in that wave, and Colonel Siege, the boss of the good guys, is an absolute home run, runaway hit. The Praetorian, which is an android bad guy, is a true builder, and everybody loves him. There's a of Japanese descent, a guy named Senshi, who's a big hit. And then there's kind of Atlas and the Sidewinder kind of bringing up the rear. But I think Sidewinder's so friggin' cool. So check them out. I think you can take a look at Valverse.com. You can at least see them there. Read the bios because they were written by somebody who loves writing bios.
Jake Rose with the line of the night. Be sure to call a doctor if he comes greater than 4 hour man.
That's right.
That's a condition called priopus.
Yeah.
And medical help should be sought immediately.
That's a scene they cut. Can't believe they did from 40-Year-Old Virgin, where he's calling the helpline for that problem. And then at the end, he goes, "No, I didn't take the medication." What, you can't help me? So good. Can't believe they didn't keep that in.
Anyways, last week I was got a package in, and I even was so happy to see it that I even told the person that sent it to me, "Hey, I'm going to open this on the show this week." And then we did a 3-hour show, and I didn't do that. So real quick, we're gonna resurrect live unboxing. As I get to myself into the big window, first and foremost, that'll
man.
Rob's spectating is not going to be any interest to anyone. So here, Troy McKee, here is me opening my call sign longbow package from Grindstone Toys. I'm sorry, Troy, I did not open this last week, but I saved it for the show this week because I said I was going to open it on the show. So
careful swinging that knife around, man.
Everybody on the show has to suffer. That's why we got the bloody hands in the opening.
Yeah.
It's a new box knife too, so it's super sharp.
They make them retractable with like a spring thing, so they're always safe.
Nonsense.
Just saying.
That would have cost more than the $229 I spent on this, Mark.
Fair.
Come on.
I was really hoping a glitter bomb was about to happen. That would have been awesome.
Troy's cruel, but I don't know if he's that mechanically inclined.
Glitter lasts forever, man.
Non-biodegradable.
Yep.
And it's patches. It's patches. Thank God it's patches.
For free?
I think so.
That has to be like $125 worth of patches.
And then we've got our invisible battle stands, always a plus. The best battle stands in the business, by gum. Unpunched card. Look at the collectability.
Ooh.
We got our copy of call sign longbow #1 in comic book form there. How do can you beat that? No, you can't beat that. And then finally, last but certainly not least, it's Ghost.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for Ghost. I'm really looking forward to call sign longbow. So the fact that one of those figures, even just the one, is enough to keep me giddy for the rest of the week. And now I can actually open him because I have fulfilled my promise to Troy Llewellyn McKee.
And in exactly 14 minutes, Ghost is going to be kicking Our Man's ass.
Probably. Yeah. Or Our Man will tear his hands off.
Take that, Our Man.
Which could happen too. But real quick, Rack Time, Rob, give us some shout outs.
Shout out to the studio audience. Thank you for tuning in as well. You know what? As we continue our marathon. like
Mark
Labor
Weber, check
Day
the pledge board.
Yeah, it's like Labor Day, and then suddenly I feel like Jerry Lewis about an hour 23. Yeah,
we're not even close to last week. I won't hear any of it.
Yeah.
Mark Weber, shout outs.
I don't want to use the word poster child, right? But because it's the Joe community, John Warden getting let go from Hasbro got all the Joe headlines. But there were more than 100 people who got let go, right? Mike Baylog, Corinne Gamache, 2 people I worked with that were wonderful at their jobs. So for everybody who got let go, been there, sucks. But it is also the start to the next chapter of your career. And I know that probably sounds trite right now, but just given the trend, there's more bad times ahead at Hasbro. So the fact that you're out now, maybe a couple years down the line, you'll actually look back at it and go, you know what? I'm glad if it was going to happen, I'm glad it happened when it did. So all the best to you as you start your job hunt and the next chapter in your career.
And what I would advise doing is finding a podcast that deals with your favorite property and joining the cast of that.
Yes. And for those that got let go that weren't really into toys and don't have a favorite property, you should have been let go a long time ago. Because you were a pain in the ass to deal with.
Easy now.
Go sell widgets.
No.
Yeah, free reign now. Go sell widgets.
Sprockets.
Yeah.
Maybe cogs.
Right.
I'm going to copy Rob's shout out to our audience. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a lot of the same names week after week after week, and we do appreciate you showing up time after time after time. If you catch us on replay, and most of you do, thank you so much. You count just as much. We love you just as much. If you are catching us audio replay, there too, there's still a good 100 to 200 of you guys that only do that. So thank you, and please continue to do so. We appreciate everybody who clicks and decides to join in our madness, whether it's live or Memorex. While you're here, we do have a number of links down in the comments below. We talked about John Warden's GoFundMe for his wife's medical needs, but there's also our social media. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Threads and Blue Sky, and I think we still got a TikTok page. I haven't done anything with that one though, so good luck there. I just haven't bothered to delete it because I can't handle TikTok. I can't do it. It's like somebody figures out something dumb to do, and then 15 million other people try to do the same thing. I don't understand TikTok. Anyhow, if you are watching us on Facebook tonight, be sure to give us a thumbs up or a heart or a little huggy guy. We do love little huggy guy. If you are catching us on the YouTubes, those 2 buttons in the middle of the box there, that is a thumbs up, and that is the subscribe button. Be sure to hit those. Every little bit of interaction you do with us helps. Be sure to leave a big boy comment down below, because all that stuff is what gets us into the YouTube metrics and gets us distributed to other folks that like the same things that you do, and that helps the show grow. We've had pretty good growth the last couple of weeks. Remember, we are just trying to get our modest goal of 1,500 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you're one of the 30% of folks who watch us every week and don't subscribe, what is up with that? YouTube already knows you've been here. They're going to continue to suggest our videos to you until the end of time. So you might as well just subscribe. Just hit the one button. And of course, even if you don't, hey, thanks for being here. Because by watching us and listening to us and consuming the product that we're putting out there, that is the absolute biggest thing you can do to help us out. We appreciate you. Give a quick shout out to our wonderful friends and sponsors at Kokomo Toys. Real quick, we'll sing the theme song. Kokomo Toys.
Kokomo Toys.
And of course to our friends at Roma Collectibles, especially to
you got it.
I'm losing my voice.
Use your words.
Right. Especially our good friend Aaron who is kicking cancer in the ass.
That's right.
And so your positive vibes and your good thoughts, and if you're in the area, Springfield, Ohio, head on over to Roma Collectibles and give him some of your cash, because all those things are helping him go. It's great to see our little corner of the community get together behind that guy. Not that we didn't think he had it in him anyway, but that dude's awesome and deserves even just your moral support. As Surveillance Port says, Aaron is built Tonka tough.
There you go.
Diana Davis will be content to leave a short old woman comment, which are also welcome. Welcome. That just doesn't roll off the tongue the same way. I apologize. Sometimes I just do things to make a catchphrase, so I don't mean to be exclusionary in the comment ballpark. Oh, I managed to not cough there, so hey, great. I mean, I was running out of air. Sometimes I just get going and I just lose track. But that's it. That's all we got. Jesus, it's been 2.5 hours, so I'd be frightened if we had more.
Don't we have friends at band camp?
We do. I've lost track of the banner. Come on now.
All right, that's fair.
It's
been a long show. I just wanted to make her a Steelers fan.
You guys think you're reminding me of stuff. You think you're helping, and I'm
too bad. I don't know if we're helping. We just like to correct people.
We're probably not helping.
Yeah.
No, believe me, I live with Rob. I know he just wants to correct people. That's all he does.
He's a teacher.
But it's band camp. Hey,
there, Mark.
Thursdays.
Hold on.
See, I don't even know where the reader is.
I'm so close here.
Anyways, if you want to get your reading done without all that reading, check out Bandcamp. That's band with 2 N's. Wherever your podcasts are found, they are audio only, so it's not going to be on the YouTube. But if you're on, say, Podbean or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, just look up Bandcamp, and remember that's band BANNED, camp CAMP.
Oh, it's perfect.
Let's all get band together.
Beautiful.
Kind of looks like she's wearing a Pittsburgh beanie.
It's beautiful.
Kind of works. If you tilt it up a little bit more, it looked like the bill of the hat's on. So
yeah, but if I tilt it up anymore, I'm going to show off my 2 weeks too late haircut. We're not doing that.
Come on now, Mark. Come on.
No. Nope.
Anyways.
Nope.
The text for their reader is down in the comments too, so just be sure to check it out there. Sometimes I'm allowed to forget stuff. The name of getting us out of here sooner. You jerks. Anyways, that's it for us. As our friend Vagon likes to say, stay safe, and if you can't, be careful. Be sure to join us next Tuesday at 9 for another episode of the What's on Joe Mind Team Stream. Have a great rest of the week. And yo, Joe.
It's a fast one.
Play the outro, StreamYard.